Good afternoon, all. How are you all? Fine? Okay. So most of you would have got excited by the topic, I assume. Yes? Yes or no? I believe all of you would have this hobby of watching the movies. Yes? Right. See, immediately when we say movies, especially in the context of the studies, these are the two terms it will come. Distraction or else direction, right? So if you have come up in this, let's say, protected parenthood, so then obviously you would have heard your parents saying that, movies are distractions. Yes, and you should restrict yourself, let's say, screen time. That is what the modern word we are using. And also people say that, watching more and more movies will make you blind. Like, you'll develop this short sightedness, etc. and all. So these are the things you would have heard. So today what we will do is that essentially it is more of a conversation, right? So here what we will do is that first we'll understand what are these movies, right? Then we'll start with the basics, like how this movies got originated, and then why we should watch a movie, right? Then how to watch a movie as well, that is very, very important, quite often missed out. And then I will also say that how these movies would be helpful for your examination and how we can use this as a potential weapon for your examination. And also I will tell you like how to manage both movies as well as examinations in your life, right? So these are the things we'll be discussing as of now. Yes? Right. So as I told you in the classes also, the important thing is interaction. Yes or no? Right? So that's why at least minimum empathy of saying yes or no should be there. Yes? Okay. Now, say if you take the evolution of mankind, okay. So one book which I believe that everybody should read, it is called as Indica. Indica by Pranay Lal. Anyone has heard? If not, everybody should read that book called as Indica by Pranay Lal. So what it says is that it is essentially a evolutionary history of, let's say, how Earth was formed, how life originated on this Earth, and then the entire evolutionary process, like starting from there, how India got into the picture, what kind of species came on the Earth, and then how did this human being came into the picture, and how these rocks formed, how these minerals formed, everything basically. It has a short history of ourselves. Okay, so if you go by that evolutionary perspective, right? So what we want is that, think like this. For example, as of now, we have this luxury of electricity. So if I want, I can stay alive, or stay awake for 24 hours also. I have so many distractions to do, right? But think of the early man. So for early man, he would have wake up at the sun, when the sun is rising, he will also wake up, correct? And by the dawn, he should go to the sleep, right? Even before fire, it would be very, very difficult. Now once the fire is there, at least they can leave like 3-4 hours of darkness. Now in that phase, what do you think? Like obviously those people require some sort of distraction, some sort of entertainment, yes or no? So that is how this art forms basically originated. For example, in your ancient and medieval, or else in art and culture, you would have studied about this paintings, cave paintings, mural paintings, yes or no? So if you go back to this early man caves, there also you will see this handprints, you will see this hunting scenes, yes? So those are the ways in which they kept themselves distracted from the monotonous life. Because once you start living like 9 to 5, you will feel frustrated. You want to have a distraction, right? So for those distractions, essentially in the beginning we developed with this art forms. And there are different types of arts. Painting is there, yes. Music is there, yes. So different types of art forms is there. We say that movie or cinema is the 7th art the man has invented to keep himself interested. Okay, so we say movie is the 7th art form. So these are other art forms. So pottery is also there, painting is there, we have this theater. So theater is basically like drama, yes. So basically movies is the modern version of this theater. If I want to put it that way, I can say like that. Because theater, what used to happen, if you have seen, essentially if you have come from this village background, we used to have like, one play. That is either like Ramayana, Mahabharata, something like that, and different sets would be there. On the stage itself, they would have made different sets. For like, let's say for example, the killing of this Duryodhana, the set will be different. then the actors will be different. The the makeup would be different. So everything would have taken time, and the transition is simply in front of you. So you would have missed that magic. See, essentially, if I say how magic works, will you be interested? Obviously, no. So already what we should do not know is that how it is essentially happening. But on theater, essentially everything is front of the audience. So that's why we are missing that magic. But with the movies, essentially we don't know how the transition from one scene to another scene is happening. And actually the interesting thing is that in most of the movies, very famous movies also, what you see in the end of the movie would have shot on the first day of the movie. Right? So after that we basically stitch together and then we'll tell a story to the people. Yes or no? So that's why a movie basically has come into this picture to keep us more entertained, to keep us more informed as well, right? Do you identify this painting? It is quite popular, very famous actually. Have you heard about this painter called as Van Gogh? It is this painting. See, interesting thing is that though I said this, the art forms were there, 6 art forms were there even before this movies. Interesting thing is that only few artists were able to make money at that point of time. Van Gogh, for example, today actually, each of this kind of print, painting goes for millions and millions of dollars. Interesting fact is that he lived entire his life in poverty. Was always worried about how his next meal is going to come. Getting? So behind such sort of beauty, there is a tragedy of poverty. Yes or no? Right? And moreover, if you observe this, you should put your brain into this. You should process essentially what is this painting trying to convey to me. Yes or no? Are you understanding? Yes. Similarly, if you have seen this Carnatic music musicians, when they will be singing, they will be going for high pitches, low pitches, a lot of variations would be there. And also if you see that, you kind of feel like, in a sarcastic way, if I want to say, are these people troubled? Why are they screaming like that? Why are they doing like this, etc. This is the usual way you will be saying. But there will be a logic behind that, and there will be a passion behind that. But all these things to be understood, all the 6 arts were there to be understood. The important thing is processor. Your brain should align in those artist lines. For example, you would have also heard about this painter, Picasso. So again, if you look at his paintings, everything is in abstract form. Like the lines would be there and he would be interconnecting those things. So to understand that, you have to go into the brain of Picasso to understand. But movie is the magic, because even an illiterate person without any background, if he sits in front of that screen after 2.5 hours, 100% would have entertained, 100% you would have learned. So without any pre-existing knowledge, we can learn new things and also we can enjoy new things. Yes, so that's why movie is more adaptive and movie is more easy for the people to enjoy. Yes, right. Now, and also another reason why this movies are quite interesting is that I hope everybody would have seen this movie. Everyone. The movie is Apta Mitra, or else Bhul Bhulaiya in Hindi. In Tamil also it is there, if it is acted by Rajinikanth, right? Here the important thing is that if you take this character of Saundarya here, so it is Nagavalli and she will also be the wife of some person. Yes, so she is basically having the dual personality, right? But essentially when you were watching those movies, honestly, be honest, didn't you feel like, even I too have this multiple personality disorder? Ansita Ilva, I felt it, right? So that is what I am trying to make the another point, that is correlation. So while watching the movies, you will start correlating yourself to the movies. You will not see that actor there, you will see yourself there. Getting? Because you are imagining, you are leaving that person's character, so that's why movies are more relatable. For example, let's say if Apta Mitra, same thing it is there. If I give that in the book of, let's say 500 pages, 600 pages, we have the patience of reading it. But if I give the gist of that in 1.5 or 2 hours, can you entertain yourself? Can you learn also? So that is the beauty of movies. It helps us in correlating the things. Okay, let's say for example 12th Fail, again one of the movie which made a lot of name and news, right? Most of the people when they are watching this movies, they will connect to that character, because essentially we are all having those kind of failures. So what we are lagging is that success which that person ultimately got. So you will be imagining yourself getting that success. So that's why that movie will be more relatable, and that's why those movies will become more popular. I'll give you another example also. Okay, so there is a movie called as The Tree of Life. I know most of you wouldn't have even heard about it. The Tree of Life, it is directed by this person called as Terrence Malick. Okay, so this movie, if you want to watch, you have to watch with empty mind, without any sort of biasness, having like calm mind, just without any expectations. If you watch that movie, so some of the people can relate to it. Again, I'm not saying everybody can, right? But the thing is that there is a niche people, there is a group of people who can connect to these movies as well. But if you take 12th fail, 80 to 90% of the people can connect. Getting? So here also what movies are doing is that it is playing with our emotions. It is trying to connect to ourselves. It is trying to depict the things which we are experiencing in our life. It is trying to act as a mirror which is showcasing the realities of the society. Yes or no? Are you getting this? So hence, watching a movie is a good thing. But essentially speaking of all those things, the first thing we should ask is that what essentially is a movie? Yes or no? Right? What is movie? What is cinema? Anyone? What is your opinion? What is a movie? What is cinema? Anything. See, again, as I said, it is an interactive class and there is no right, there is no wrong. Whatever you say, it is true only. Yes or no? Right? Yes, what is a movie? What is a cinema? According to you? One by one, sorry. Refreshment, okay then. What is movie? Enacting a story, very good. Then anything. See, as I said, nothing is wrong. Yes. So bringing realities of your imagination into reality. Yes. Okay then. Okay. See, what you are saying is essentially what movie depicts. But what I am asking is what essentially is a movie. Okay. So if you ask me, the movies is essentially like this, right? If you have seen the olden movies, essentially we call it as motion picture. Why? Picture is a static one. Okay, so what we do is that we take a continuous shot of a single picture and then we make a reel like this, and when you expose the light to this film, and it will give you a continuity of the picture. Essentially it is an illusion because everything is taken at a static position, and then we put that into a reel, and because it is continuously moving, we'll get that picture of moving. Getting? So that's why the technical name for movie, I can say it is motion picture. Getting? So let's take the definition itself. So first one, if you see, the same essential thing is given there. It is a flexible strip of plastic or other material, so with light sensitive emulsion. So have you ever touched this film? Like for cameras also it used to come. Ever touched? If you touch, essentially you will feel something is sticking to your hand. So that is the emulsion. Getting? So after that what we do is that we will do all these things in the dark, and when the light is exposed on this, it will give us this image. And when we continuously run that, so that will give us this motion picture. Getting? So here also if you see the word movie, it is coming from this, it is coming from this word called as the moving picture. Okay, and again here if you have seen this Oscars recently, again the Oscar award ceremony was also there. So what they say is the best motion picture. They don't say what is the best picture, right? So they say it is the motion picture, right? Now, in fact, this is the very first motion picture ever to be captured. So if you see, what we have done is that we have taken this single shot of a person riding the horse, and then we stitched together. So it is giving us that illusion of moving picture. Getting? So here also if you observe, can you see that blackness is coming in between? So it is coming because when you are turning that reel, so there will be a short strap, short darkness period will be there. So that's why you are getting this blackness. Getting? Understanding this? Good. Now, so the thing is that we have understood what is movie, and then we basically had like how this movies basically got evolved, and why it is acting as an entertainment media, etc. Now let's ask this basic question, that is, why we should watch these movies? In your opinion, why should we watch movies? Yes, why should we watch movies? Entertainment, correct then? Sorry? Flow of ideas. A changeover, very good then. Inspiration, very good. Motivation, correct, very good then. Thriller, very good. Thriller experience, correct then. That's it. Critical thinking, very good. Information, basically, correct then. Different perspective. Okay, so psychological feelings, okay, like let's say if you're feeling low, so it helps in mood recovery, etc. and all fine then. Sorry? Importance of families, okay, right then. Yeah, perspectives, right. See, one, it is actually very fun to watch. For example, if you want to go to the theater and if you want to watch it, essentially the dialogues will be textbook. Yes or no? Have you ever watched a theater? Right? So everything there is in this original novel, so they will try to say the same thing. I'm not discriminating, sorry, I'm not degrading it. It is a very beautiful art and we should preserve it. But the thing is that it is not reachable for every audience, right? For example, there is this book called as The Tragedy of Macbeth. Anyone of you heard? It is a classic essentially, timeless classic. It is in the English literature. The problem is that most of the people doesn't even understand what is written in that book. Okay, but the beauty is that the same thing has been turned into the a movie. Now most of the people can watch it, even though they are not understanding this, every word which is coming there, but still they can relate to it. Yes or no? So that's why it is fun to watch. For example, let's take a Kannada example. You know this Babruwana, the timeless classic of Dr. Rajkumar, right? So there, if you see that conversation which is happening between this Arjuna and Babruwana during the wartime, so that conversation itself is in a song way. If at all the same conversation, if you imagine in the battle, would they had really had that? ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತ ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಹಂಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಕೊಂತ ಇದ್ರ ಹಂಗೆ ಹಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರ? No. So that is the liberty the director has taken to convey to us what essentially were their point of views for going to that battle. So they are in the battle, they are at the front of the battle, that we know. But why did they go there? What essentially they are battling for? So that is depicted in that song, and essentially it is a beautiful Kannada which everybody can understand. Yes or no? Right, so that's why it is fun to watch. Even the boring things can be made fun. Right, so that is one of the important points. Second, it will give you an array of emotions. Not just one or two kinds of emotion. It will try to touch different parts of your emotional feelings. So it will try to like play with your emotions, right? And essentially, see, if you want to watch a movie, one of the ways is that you have to make yourself vulnerable. If not, the movie cannot be enjoyed. What I am saying is that, let's say you're going for this movie called as 96. Anyone has heard? Right. So, but in your mind, you are already having this bias that this genre of movie is not for me. So whatever they are going to depict, I'm not going to enjoy. If you're going there, 100% you won't enjoy it. That you already decided. Then there is no point in going to the movie itself. So what I'm saying is that if you are really making yourself vulnerable to that director's point of view, then only you can understand that movie, then only you can enjoy that movie, right? So that's why the array of emotions will be brought into the picture. So that is another reason why we should watch the movie. Now, as somebody was highlighted earlier as well, it gives us an escape from the jail which we have constructed for ourselves. Because for 9 to 5, we'll be working, correct? And if you take the software job, like Saturday, Sunday, they will be released from the prisons, right? So they will go and explore the life only for 2 days. Again, they will go back to their own handmade prisons, right? So this is what we have constructed for ourselves. So essentially what we need is a distraction. What we need is a entertainment way. So that is where movies are coming into the picture. So to escape ourselves, at times what happens is that, see, we all say that have to live in reality. You should be present in this moment, etc. and all. But at times there is no harm in going for a virtual reality as well. Because at times the reality is making you feel failure. Then what is the problem in having another reality where actually you can go and enjoy the movie? So to get that escapism, to get that alternative reality, so we need movies. So that is another reason. So there are a lot of movies which are very, very informative. For example, if you have heard this movie called as Interstellar, right? So again, it is very, very informative. So if you know, actually the screenwriters or else the story writers spent more than 6 months with the NASA scientist to understand what is black hole, to understand what exactly is the laws of physics, and then they wrote the script. And that's why that is a magic. Getting? So that is learning as well, correct? For example, see, at times movie try to balance this entertainment or as a commercial aspect as well as learning aspect. For example, have you seen this movie called as Wakanda Forever? That is Black Panther 2. right? So if you observe that, essentially there are so much information within that, though they are not saying it exclusively, if you observe, you'll get it. For example, so there they will show this a man coming within the water, right? So if you observe that, he would be giving a pretext, so saying that we were the land people. So that is essentially the Mayan and the Incan civilization which they have shown there. So we know only the Machu Picchu because it is one of the 7 wonders of the world which we have by-hearted. But the thing is that which they have depicted in that movie for a short period of time, it is the Incan and the Mayan civilization. Getting? So that is one. And again, if you watch the first part of this Black Panther, or even in the second part, they will show you this, the what is that, Hyperloop, have you heard? The Elon Musk thing which they are working, right? So in this Hyperloop, the transportation will be very fast. And if you observe that movie, so same sort of transportation is also depicted there. Getting? So what I am saying is that even if the movie is not solely made for learning purpose, if your perspective is clear, you can learn as well as entertain yourself. Are you getting? So learning plus entertainment can go both hand in hand. The most important problem with the people, not the students, I'm saying holistically with the people, is that they will isolate the things. Only for learning, you should be seeing some sort of documentary. So for entertainment, you should be watching this movie. No, even in the commercial movie, you can watch and learn so many things. Getting? So for learning purpose, that is another reason why we can watch a movie. Now, as somebody was also highlighting, it will inspire you. Getting? It will inspire you to do certain things which you also believe that it is not possible. Getting? So in the coming slides, I will also give you these examples, like some of the movies where like people thought they themselves, like they are not worth anything in the society, have become greatest minds. Getting? So looking at those things, you will also get motivated to do more things, right? So to get this feeling of inspiration, motivation, again, you can watch movies. And another very important one, creativity. So very, very important one. For example, when you were kids, right? So especially during this drawing class, if at all it was not taken by the maths teacher, it would be there, right? Hoping that it was there for you as well. So they used to draw, like they used to ask you to draw this nature painting. So most of us has drawn 2 hills, 1 river, 1 home. That is the end of it. Right? So why? Because that is what we were taught to do. Getting? For example, let's say Mickey Mouse, is it a real character? Is it a real character? No, right? For example, Tom and Jerry, is it a real? No, it is also imaginative. Important thing is that those are all creative works, right? It is not easy for you to design a character and build a story on that. So for doing that, you should have very good imagination, right? Very good creativity, which we had during our childhood. For example, when you are a kid, when you are not going to schools, when you are not going anywhere, so toys would be there in the home. Like even if for all you are in the utter poverty also, at least 2 or 3 wooden toys would be there. So you used to make yourself a story among all those things. And you used to build a beautiful story and you used to tell to your parents, sibling, everyone. So where did that creativity go? That is the problem. So this movies again gives us the opportunity to reignite that creativity which is present in our brain. And also it will normalize the things. Like at times what like people say that you are 30, 32, again you are watching this Cartoon Network, etc. What is wrong in that? It is a creative work, right? You are appreciating that creativity and it will also spark lot of imaginative ideas in your brain. Are you getting? So next one. In the topic of this reading books also, I would have given you this quote in this Game of Thrones. They say that a man who reads a book experiences 1,000 lives. Getting? Similarly, a man who watches a movie experiences 1,000 lives as well. Getting? Because let's say for example, this person called as Pele. Have you heard? Football legend, right? So if you watch there is a movie as well, we'll speak about that. So same, the title itself is Pele. If you watch that movie, see this person comes from utter poverty, right? So his mother will be working as a maid in the big section of this society, and she will be making minimum wages. And father, he would be basically injured because of his football journey, and he will be working as manual labor. So keeping all those things in the mind, he didn't had even proper training, but he became the best player to ever play the football itself We say football didn't make that person great. We say that that person basically made the football great. Because of that person, so many people know the name football. Because before that sport was limited to European nations. Are you getting? Right? So that kind of transformation is possible when you experience the lives of other people. Getting? Understanding? There is another movie, if you want, you can watch it. It is called as A Beautiful Mind. It is about a mathematician called as John Nash. He wants this Nobel as well, but the life of this person is a kind of tragedy. Getting? There is another movie called as The Imitation Game. So who is father of artificial intelligence? You know artificial intelligence, right? AI, everybody is saying. So who is the father of artificial intelligence? Huh? Sam Altman. Then? Think. I'll give you a clue. He is a British mathematician. So his name is Alan Turing. Okay. So Alan Turing, basically that movie is also very, very interesting. So there was a machine called as Enigma. Okay. So this was a machine developed by Germans for secret communication of the messages. Let's say tomorrow where we had to deploy our troops, where we had to take back our troops. This kind of secret transmission of the messages used to be done by this machine called as Enigma. And it was really difficult and almost like people had given up, saying that it is impossible to break the code of this Enigma. Getting Alan Turing, for the first time, using a machine, he breaks that code, and that plays a very, very, very critical role in changing the dimension of the entire World War itself. Getting? So that is Alan Turing. So why I am saying all these things is that if you watch those movies, those kind of movies, you will experience their lives. See, already what the average lifespan of the Indian citizen is 67 years. In 67 years, can you experience everything? See, and also kind of sad reality is that we as a human beings, in the name of advanced civilization, we have built this imaginative borders called as nations. I'm not against like in a nation would, again, don't take me in a wrong way. Even I am patriotic, but the thing is that if you go beyond all these things, we have constructed these borders of nation, but try to eliminate that in your brain. So earth will be whole. That is your home. I agree, India is our home. I agree. But if you take it a holistic way, like Vishwamanava as said by Kuvempu, so essentially it is, entire earth is our home. So is it possible for me to explore the entire earth? That's not at all possible. We are speaking of going to the Mars. Right? To truly experience my planet itself, it is not enough for the lifespan which I am having. So what is the best way? Movies. Because if you watch the movies from different countries, you will get their culture. You will be able to experience their lives as well. Are you getting this? In fact, if you want, I can suggest another French movie. It is called as La Haine. L-A-H-A-I-N-E. La Haine. Again, the interesting story is that the director was just 23 years old. And he won this best movie award. And after that, the direction was not done for other movies. Getting? So in this movie, it was kind of groundbreaking, because if you see, like I'll go a little bit technical. That is, camera angles is very important. For example, have you seen this song called as, what is it? Master is a Tamil movie, I guess. Master itself, right? Talapati Vijay. Yes. So if you see, there is a song, the intro song of this person. If you watch that song, essentially all the like running, it will be shown from his shoulder level. Getting? The camera is just at that shoulder level. But go back to like let's say for example 40-50 years ago, that was not the established norm of shooting the movie. The movie should be shot in the front, where the main protagonist face will be shown. But La Haine is the one which has broken all those barriers. It started showing like shoulders, it started showing the back of the actors, and then there was a groundbreaking thing which happened in this movie shooting. Getting? Right? So that's why experience is very, very essential aspect of watching the movies. And if you keep all these things in the brain, and then if you watch the movie, then entire experience of watching the movie itself will be a fantastic one. Are you getting? Right? No. Okay. And also if you watch movies, you'll get this array of emotions. Okay. So one of my favorite actors of all time, Brahmanandam, Dr. Brahmanandam. So he has acted more number of movies, obviously everybody knows. But very less known facts is that how this person practices humility. Right. If you know, actually there is a very famous interview of this person. Anytime he wins this award, any award for that matter, he goes and sleeps on the floor in his home. In his home itself, he goes and sleeps on the floor. Why? Because he wants to remind himself that, say, whatever this awards, etc., it is given only for my art, not for this body. I should not take this pride to my head, and I should not become the person who is levitating in the air. I should be grounded. To remind himself, he is the one who has taken this initiative. Are you getting? Obviously, these days, getting the date with this person is more difficult than that of any hero. But still, this person is this much grounded. Getting? So this also teaches us humility, right? Plus, it will give us this feeling of astonishment. It will give us this feeling of wonder. It will give us this feeling of wow when you watch certain movies. To experience that wowness also, you should be watching movies. And of course, many of the movies also make us cry, right? And many of the movies also, as somebody said, thrill. Getting? So getting the thrill, it is very, very interesting and also very important, because adrenaline should rush in our mind. So then only we'll feel that excitement of the life. Getting? Edge of the seat thriller is what you say, right? So that's why that entertainment or a thrill angle will also be there. Plus, of course, comedy. Comedy is the very, very important aspect. And also, let me give you this context. Let's say if I want to be a successful actor, how many movies should I act? In how many movies, if I act, I will be getting this recognition, according to you? Or let's say, if I want to make my name immortal in the movie industry, how many movies should I watch? In your opinion? Role is important. If I'm keeping that also in the mind, what is the number of movies you want to say? Sorry? See, keeping all those things in the mind, how many movies ideally I should be playing? 100? Yes, 200, maybe 300. You know Charlie Chaplin? How many movies he has acted? Less than 20. Less than 20. And he is going to be immortal forever. Getting? So here, why I'm saying is that these kind of people will come now and then and will make this movies immortal forever. Getting? And of course, relaxation is another reason why we should be watching all these movies. Because see, you have to treat while watching a movie, it is kind of holiday where no expectations is on you, nothing is there. Right? If you all do all those things, then essentially it will be a relaxing exercise where you can refresh yourself. Yes? Right. Now, so can you read these headlines which I have provided you? Yes? You are reading, everyone? Pakka? Good. So IIT toppers, JEE toppers, even UPSC toppers, many times they have said that what they have done before the examination, they watched a movie. But what is taught to us, watching movie is distraction. It will hinder your ability to do well in the examination. Then how did these people top the examinations? See, in fact, even I was told from my parents, that is, see, there is a logic as well, because for me, if anybody has to say something, there should be logic behind it. My mother used to say, see, her logic is that if you watch a movie and if you read also, what happens is that whatever you have seen as a movie, so that will be sitting in your mind, and whatever you have read, that will be taking the back seat. So whatever you have read, that would be replaced by the things which you have seen. That is her belief, right? I believed her and I tried it out also, right? I think I would have told in some of the batches also this thing, that is, see, one of the serious attempts which I gave was in 2018. Okay, so very, very serious. So if you know, obviously everybody, at least in the Insights knows that I always watch movies, right? And it is a kind of addiction also, right? The thing is, for almost 7 to 8 months, forget about a movie, I didn't even watch a single YouTube video, right? So I thought, like, whatever my mother said, I wanted to experience that, and I also wanted to try that. So honestly, I didn't watch even a single YouTube video, and I read only for UPSC, and I read for almost 7 to 8 months, right? And when I was in the examination hall, so only one thing it was running in my mind, that is, you know, you were honest in this preparation. You gave your more than 100% for the studying part, practicing part, everything. And if God is there, and if realities are there, and if you have put the effort, you should be getting the success. You should be clearing this examination. This is the thing which was constantly running in my mind. Okay, and because of this excessive honesty, right? Because of this excessive honesty, whenever a difficult question was there, I was saying to myself, see, if you spend a little bit more time, because you are prepared well, you will be able to solve this, right? So this was the only thing which was running in my mind. because of this thing, because of this, utter honesty in the preparation, what happened is that in my entire life, I never mismanaged the time. First time in the examination hall, I was not able to completely read the question paper itself. Hardly I had covered around 70 questions. Hardly I had covered around 70 questions. Then I realized, see, movie is separate, examination is separate. See, in examination, on the examination day, in the examination hall, what is needed is smartness. Smartness basically means you have to take the question based on its merit. What it is asking, what is the logic with me, what is the content with me. If I can solve that, I will be getting it. Are you getting? See, no matter if you are drunk yesterday, no matter you have watched a movie yesterday, no matter you have not slept yesterday, nothing matters. On that point, at that point of time, how are you going to treat that question? So that is what it is very important. I'm telling you with the experience itself. Because I tried that also, this also, nothing matters. And also, for few people it is true, right? I'm not saying that universally it is wrong. For few people what happens is that whatever they see as a movie, not just this, could be YouTube video, could be whatever the case may be. So the same thing will be replaying in their mind. For some people it may happen. I'm not saying it is universally not correct. For some people it can happen. Because maybe for me it is a repeated exercise. Now my brain is convinced that this person is not going to remember yesterday, tomorrow, so let's forget it. But the thing is that back of the mind, it will be there. So whenever I want, I can tap into that portion of the brain and I can recollect those memories. So many movies, I'm going to give you the examples. All those movies I watched like years ago, but still I can remember frame by frame of that movie. So it is there in the mind, and I believe that it is there in my mind. So that is the beauty of it. Are you getting this? Right? So in this case, let's understand, sorry. Okay. Let's have a look at then what is the meaning of distraction. Okay. So if you see the first one, a thing that prevents someone from concentrating on something else. So your objective is focusing on filling this bottle. That is your job, correct? At this point of time, if I focus on something else, so that is distraction, because my job was this. So that is the one meaning of distraction, correct? Now if you see this, a diversion or recreation, this is another point of view. So recreation is essential, yes or no? Because you have to rejuvenate yourself, you want to feel relaxed, correct? So that's why distraction is essential, right? So that is the meaning. So if this is happening, then it is wrong. But if you are treating the distraction as recreation, then it is good. Are you trying? Are you getting my point? So what I'm saying is that don't treat this distraction as misdirection. Treat it as a recreation. If you treat like that, then it will be a potential tool for you to express yourself. Also, another meaning is extreme agitation of the mind. That is, the mind will get agitated. The mind will go into this extreme feelings, right? So that is also the another meaning of distraction. And believe me, movie has the potential of all these three meanings. Movie has the potential of filling all these three brackets. It can act as recreation, it can act as preventing you from focusing on your goal, it can also act as disturbing your mind. So there are certain sections of the movies, when you watch, you will get engaged with certain sections of the society as well. Let's say for example, honor killings, have you heard? So if you want, there is a documentary called as Killing a Tiger. So it was about a gang rape happened in this Bihar. A small kid was there, and it was done by this the same village children itself. So it was a minor gang rape which happened there. So if you watch those kind of documentaries or as movies, essentially you will get anger. Your mind will become agitated. But again, recreation. For example, animated movies. So if you watch those things, suddenly there will be a feeling of calmness, correct? So then it is recreation, correct? Plus, it can act as distraction, especially if you're going for series, right? This web series doesn't end in 1 or 2 seasons. They purposefully drag it for 20 seasons, and you will be compelled to watch all those things. Then it is a major distraction. And then it is like, pushing you away from your essential goal, right? So that's why, as I said, movies can act as all three things. Then it is up to you. Then it is the wisdom of the people to choose the second one, diversion or else recreation. Treat the movie like this, then essentially it can fit into the bill of your examination. If not, you will be moving away from your process of examination. Getting? Everyone? Right. Now, the exclusion principle. In physics, we say that the same object cannot occupy the same place at the same time. Gattodilva? Not by-headed? I think pass agidira. So it says that, fermions, again, let's not go there, subparticles, or else, let's say simply the same thing cannot occupy the same place at the same time. So ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಬಾಡಿ ಎರಡು ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೇ ಸತಿಗೆ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. Yes or no? So that is what we are saying. So here also same thing. If your objective is to read a book, if your objective is to read a newspaper, so that is the first task. The second task is you want to watch a movie as well. Both things cannot happen simultaneously, or else at least effectively it cannot happen. You think certain things can happen. For example, let's say there is this audio book called as Audible. Again, I'm not invested my shares there. Just for your sake, I'm saying. So Audible is an app where they will give us this audio books. Okay. Say I travel almost 40-45 kilometers daily basis one way. Okay. So it takes me around 1.5 hours. So what I will do is that I will play this Audible in the car. So basically what is happening, I am driving as well and I am listening to the audiobook. So both things is happening, right? Here the efficiency of the driving will be less, I agree. So earlier what used to happen is that I used to drive fastly. Because I am listening there, even if some person is obstructing my movement, I will be okay. Because my focus is somewhere else. Getting? If not easily, I will get agitated, I will scream at that person, unnecessary skirmishes. It used to happen. Now it is reduced. So two things like that it can happen. But if you want to be effective at reading the newspaper as well as watching a movie, no. Getting? So that's why the second thing which I want to say is don't become yourself a prisoner into this movies or else into this screen time. Getting? So what happens is that yes, it is a recreation, yes, it is very good, but the addiction is also there. So you should not get addicted to it. Getting? For example, if you know in Indian mythology, we have a concept called as Vishakanya. Have you heard? Vishakanya. So what used to happen is that a particular sect of the people, like especially the females, they would be taken at the younger ages, and instead of feeding them with milk, etc., nutritious food, so they used to put like single drop of poison into their body progressively. So every day a single drop of poison, single drop of poison. So what body will be treating is it will be producing antibodies against it. Against it. Basically, that body would have developed immunity. But that person, if at all he or she is going to bite another person, that another person is going to die. So that is what Vishakanya concept is. So what I am trying to say is that even poison in small amount is good for the body. Getting? Same as our movies. Getting? Movies are also like poison, or else it could be amruta as well, but I have to take that in less quantities. If you keep on taking that in a consistent less quantities, it is good. Getting? Next. Of course, another reason for saying it is a distraction, that is, I hope you would have seen this Mr. Bean series, right? So there is this beautiful episode where he will shoot this light bulb because he was not able to sleep, right? Similarly, because of watching more movies or else watching or else staring at your screen, it may give insomnia, right? Sleeplessness. So that is also another reason why people say that it acts as distraction. And of course, another problem is that while watching the movies, you'll get this instant gratification. That is, let's say my objective is clearing this examination, or else let's say becoming an IAS, or else whatever the case may be, right? But that takes at least 1 year of good efforts and good luck, etc., etc. Then you may be in the service. But if you watch this 12th fail, you will be becoming IPS within 2 hours. At least in the mind it will be happening. That is instant gratification. That is one of the immediate dangers, because you will be instantaneously getting that feeling of something achieved in your life, but in reality nothing. So that is the biggest problem, right? So instant gratification will be there. So you have to avoid that. Getting? Yes? Okay. And another problem of repeated watching the movies is procrastination. See here also, if you see that lady's job is supposed to work out, but what she is doing is watching a movie on her laptop or is doing some other job. The problem is this procrastination creeps in because you're getting addicted to this something, movies, right, or else the series, then you start postponing everything, right? You're supposed to read at least 10 pages of Lakshmikanta, let's say, right? But suddenly in your library itself, you have seen another person watching a beautiful movie. So suddenly there will be craving. I should watch that movie. Everybody is watching, I am missing out. So then you'll start watching that movie. Then you'll get to know that this movie is having second part as well, third part as well. Then you want to complete everything in a single go. Then that is how this procrastination starts. And because of that, you'll feel that, yesterday was a failure and that inferiority complex will come. Next day also will the same thing. See, nene hadaga hogide, ivattadru chennagi ಮಾಡೋಣ idea would be there. But again, see, nene hengidru hogide, innondu dina ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಮುಗ್ದೇ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. If I watch this, again I can complete the entire series. Tomorrow I can start. So this is how the procrastination starts with watching the movies. So that's why, as I said, small things is good. So of course, as I said earlier as well, it may actually divert your focus, right? It may divert your focus from one objective to the another objective. So that is another problem. And of course, in the beginning, I told you that one of the reasons to watch the movie is it may give you this escape of the realities. But certain people find pleasure in that alternate reality itself. They will try to leave that alternate reality, escaping the entire reality itself. That should not happen. You know this movie called as Matrix? Kelidira? If not, again you can watch it. But again, as I said, there's also a multi-series movie. So there are, I think, 4 or 5 movies are there. So again, before watching, make yourself free and then you can watch it. But in that movie, what is the plot is that, basically all us, like, humans, we are all created by this higher intelligence people. So we are all living in this matrix created by them. So we are just kind of artificial reality we are existing. So if you want to come out of that, you have to defeat that, artificial reality which is playing us, right? So that is that Matrix movie. So essentially people find pleasure in this artificial reality, right? So that's why you should be careful enough not to become yourself that Nagavali, right? Nagavali also, if you take, that is the artificial reality she had created for herself. So you should not become like that, right? So that is another reason why people say that movies may be distraction. Getting? Now, so another reason, especially with movies, let's take into this social media as well. So if you go on this Instagram, what happens? Every 10 seconds, your emotion will be changing. So one reel will be giving you this sadness, one reel will be giving this happiness, one reel will be making you angry, etc., 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 right? So within a short span, maybe 30 seconds or less 1 minute, your entire emotions is manipulated. So with that kind of instability in your emotions, can you manage yourself? That is the biggest problem. Getting? So that's why you should be aware. Like you should not let movies or else like any other social media creep in deep inside you, right? You may give this power for this director to play with your emotions, but not to a certain extent that you'll become brainwashed. Getting? Right? So that should not happen. Then also it depends, all these distractions, etc., etc., all these things also depends on the genre of movie. What kind of movie you are watching, depending on that also, whether it is a distraction or whether it is helping you in focusing, both will be determined. Getting? So on this genres of the movie, we'll discuss it a little bit later. But there is a term on the board. Can you see it? Placebo. So what is the meaning of placebo? Have you heard about placebo effect? Kelidira? Okay, have you seen this movie series called as Harry Potter? Kelidira, right? Good. So in one of that movie series, if you remember, so Ron Weasley, he will be going for this Quidditch match and he would be scared, right? And what Harry Potter does is, he will give liquid luck, a potion would be there. Again, if you watch the movie, then only you can enjoy it. Essentially what he says is that, what Ron believes is that Harry Potter has put liquid luck into his drink, right? But in reality, Harry Potter just pretended to put that potion into his drink. But Ron believes that yes, he has put, and luck is in favor of him, and he plays very good match, and that team also wins. But in reality, has Harry Potter put into that? No. So that is called as placebo effect. So same thing helps in drugs also. People believe that if I put this tablet into you, if I say that, so then you will believe that okay, temperature has reduced, the fever has reduced. But in reality, I wouldn't have put medicine itself. That is called as placebo effect. Movies are same sort of thing. Getting? So movies also make you believe that you have achieved something, but in reality you are not. But getting that placebo effect for a short period of time helps us in achieving good things. Getting? For example, tomorrow is actually the prelims examination. Today if I watch this 12th fail, don't you think that it will be giving you a very good feeling for tomorrow? So that is what we call it as psyching up. For example, have you seen this cockfight? That is, Hunja, right? What is it? Kolipanya. Have you heard? At least seen? So while these cocks will be fighting, essentially, if you have seen this owner, he would be like, pressing or else like massaging the snake. He'll be making that cock feel anger, and then he will be sending that fight. So that is called as psyching up. Same thing should be there for you before going to the examination. If the movies can be such sort of placebo effect, then what is wrong in having it? Getting? As I said, it is a drug, should be taken in a moderate amount. If not, it will become drug addict. So it should not happen. Yes? Right. Then, keeping all this thing in the mind, then should we watch stopping the movies? Because it is a distraction? Should we? No? See, if you say so, then the thing is, what is problem in having a small distraction in the life? And everybody should have certain distractions in the life in order to focus on larger reality. Yes or no? But as I said earlier also, important thing is quantity. How much distraction are you allowing in your life? See, movie is one sort of distraction, okay? Let's say for example, if you also have the hobby of trekking, if you also have the hobby of jogging, if you also have the hobby of going to gym, if you also have the hobby of running, jogging, whatever the case may be, all these things along with the movies, don't you think that it will be becoming hectic? Yes or no? Right? In fact, this 2014 UPSC topper, Ira Singhal, at least no? Ira Singhal. So she was the topper in the 2014. So she was differently abled, and there is an interesting article in her blog itself if you read. So what she said is that she has so many different hobbies in her life, right? And what she had written in that blog is that, see, without those hobbies, I feel that I am not living my life. So just for the sake of examination, I cannot sacrifice all my hobbies. So what I was doing is that I was taking those hobbies in a minimal quantity in my life. I was not totally abandoning them, but I was taking that in a small part. Essentially, same thing should be done by everyone. Because without hobbies, as I told you many times also, during this DAF, during this interview, people come to us and then they ask, sir, what should I write in the hobbies section? It is your hobbies. What can I say? Don't you have any hobbies in your life? Don't you have anything interesting in your life? That is the pathetic part. Getting? And people think that there is a formula for that. If I write this hobby, people will be impressed. Is that true? No. It is you. You should be the interesting person. If you are interesting enough, obviously the board will also feel the same. Getting? So just for the sake of examination, don't make your life boring. So this life is more bigger than that of any examination. Yes? Right. So as I said, we can have that minimum distraction. But if you want to have that minimum distraction, there should be a way in which you should watch the movie. So that is what the next part we'll be discussing. That is how to watch a movie. So it is very important question. Often not addressed. And again, I'm not saying that this is a universal way of watching the movie. What I'm saying is that this has worked for me and this could work for you as well. That is what I'm saying. This is not the universal solution. No. So there is this movie called as The Lion King. Have you heard? The second part also came, if you know, right? In the second part, in the climax scene, there is a very, very interesting conversation happens between this lion and other animals. Okay. So what happens is that here, this white lions basically will be attacking this dark colored lions. Okay. And when the fight is happening between these two lions, category of lions, other animals will be basically fleeing from that scene, running away from that scene. So this Lion King basically he will ask other animals to come and fight their war as well. Because what he says is that, see, today these lions has come for us. What is the guarantee that tomorrow they won't come for you? So if we stand united, today and if we fight this lions off, tomorrow will be ours. So this is what the Lion King will be saying in that movie. Now the same thing, if I want to relate to our examination, I can say like this. For example, climate change. For example, global warming, right? So think like this, developed nations, that the lions which is there, correct? all of us, let's say for example, as other animals, right? Here, every year we have this UNFCCC, the COP meetings will happen, Conference of Parties. So what is the constant fight? Developing nations blame developed nations for causing more pollution. Developed nations says that you don't have the technology to do the green climate things, right? And they ask that, sir, give us the funds. They will say that yes, we'll give, but when? Nobody knows. Yes or no? And we say that CBDR, common but differential responsibilities. They say that no, that is not possible. This is the fight we are having. But who is actually getting the effect as of now? Small island nations. Most of the islands are sinking because of this rising sea level. Yes or no? So today, if all the countries come together as that united front and we say that yes, we take the responsibility of combating this climate change, don't you think that all the human beings as a species will have a standing chance of fighting this climate change? That is what I will be taking from that scene. Are you getting? So that is the way in which I watch the movies. And these things will happen simultaneously. I'm not saying that after coming I will be doing all these things. No. When I watch a movie, these things will run simultaneously. For these things to happen, two things. One, you should know the subject also very well. Any subject for that matter. Politics, history, geography, nothing doesn't matter. Any subject, if you know it in detail, then whatever you watch in front of you, will be able to correlate among themselves. So that should happen simultaneously. Believe me, if that happens, your essays, ethics will be 100% original. See, one of the most important reason why your essays and ethics course will be less is lack of originality. You will try to reproduce the quotes said by someone. It is fine. That person has said like that. It's okay. But what is your opinion on that? So that is where the originality of the essay and ethics lie. See, the beauty of the ethics paper is that these days they have asked more code-based questions. Getting? So that is where the people are getting scared. Are you understanding? Right? So for all those things I say, and also it has helped me, that is movies as a solution. Because there will be a lot of philosophical things, there will be a lot of beautiful things which you can correlate for these movies as well. For example, I'll give a simple example, then we'll go to this discussion how to watch this movie. You know this person called as Kailash Satyarthi? You would have heard, right? So he is famous for children development. Yes or no? Right? Children empowerment basically, right? He has also won Nobel Prize, right? So there is a quote given by this person. Let's say for example, before that, let me ask this. What is anger? Kopa, I know, like I don't want translation, but essentially what is anger according to you? State of mind, correct? But what does that state of mind lead to? If you are angry, what will happen? Kopa na bandile yaru no? Now I am getting that kopa. Then, yes, conflict, correct? Then, Joragili, yes. Uncontrollable, okay, good. Then, strong opposition. See, all the things which you said, if I want to summarize, don't you think that every opinion which you gave, it is putting anger into this negative connotation? Is putting that anger as a negative emotion? But Kailash Satyarthi gave a different opinion. He said that the greatest of my achievements came from anger, because when he saw a child labor, he was angered. So that's why he worked against that system and he was able to liberate the people. Getting? So then anger is a positive emotion as well, as long as it is under your control. So once you start losing the control of anger, then you are losing the control of yourself. Anger in a controlled way is a very good emotion of earning and doing greater things. That is what Kailash Satyarthi said. Getting? For example, there is another movie, again I will show you that a little bit later, called as Revenant. Anyone has heard? It is by Leonardo DiCaprio. So in this Revenant, essentially what happens is that just one emotion, anger and rage, revenge, it will take him to the extreme lengths. In fact, he was on the verge of having death. Even he defeated the death just to kill that another person. Getting? So that is what anger can take you to the extreme lengths. Getting? At times, anger has helped in survival of the people as well. Getting? So as long as you have the control of these emotions, then it is a good one. Getting? So what I'm trying to say is that essentially you should have that open-mindedness to watch a movie. And before watching a movie, just be clear of your syllabus, be clear of like understanding of the basic things, then you will be able to correlate all those things which is happening on the screen. Getting? Understood this? Yes? Good. Now let's see how to watch a movie. Okay. So first thing first, as I said earlier also, The important thing you should be keeping in the mind is, when you go to a movie theater, or else if you are doing the piracy stuff also, what I have to do is that keep your mind empty. See, if the glass is empty, I can pour the water here, overflowing, because water is already there. Same thing is watching a movie also, because you are already convinced that this person is there, is going to create a blockbuster, right? For example, let's say Triple R. Even before going to the theater, we expect that Rajamouli would have produced a fantastic movie, and obviously, even if there is a minute things which is not up to the standard, still we'll be saying that it is a very good movie. That is happening only because you have biasness from the beginning itself. Getting? So what I'm saying is that go to this movies with empty mind. Nothing should be there. So whatever the director is trying to write that story, so that should be imprinted. After that, if you want, you can critique it. Getting? But while watching a movie, I have to see it from director's point of view. Getting? Right. Now, so as I said earlier also, the very, very important thing like how to watch a movie is prioritization. I'll tell you why. Let's say today you have class, right? Let's say this session only it is there, or else let's say for example some other special class is taken. Now you know that this session is important, right? Or else that class is important. At the same time, you have made a promise to your friend that you will be going to a movie. Now you are in the conflict. But if you go to the movie theater, in that movie theater, your brain will be thinking about the class. You are neither there nor here. Then what is the point of going to the movie? So that's why prioritize the task, which is the most important thing as of now. I should be doing that first, and after that I should be going for other things. Getting? That priority is very important. Now, next is that, okay, you have prioritized, you have went to the movie with a clear mind, everything is fine. But the important thing is that, sir, how to enjoy the movie? Because all that we will see is hero, heroine. Beyond that, like, there will be other actors also, we don't appreciate, we don't even look at them. Then how to appreciate those things? What are the technical aspects? One or two we should be looking for. One of the very important thing is framing, okay? How the camera frame is done. For example, one of my all-time favorite movies is The Hobbit, or else The Lord of Rings. Have you heard? So it is again a book adaptation written by J.R. Tolkien. So it is a fantasy movie, essentially may not be real, but essentially this, if you watch any of this movies, each frame, it will be so beautiful that you wish that I should be present in that place. I should be living in that place. That kind of pleasingness would be there in the frames. So appreciate that framing as well. It is not easy for a director to frame a particular camera. For example, Om movie in Kannada, let's take that Kannada example itself. Om, Nodidira, right? If you take this Upendra, essentially there is this scene, I believe if you remember, in this jungle, in this forest, I think, who is Prema, right? So Prema would be there and Upendra would be there. Sorry, Shivraj Kumar would be there. And if you see some sort of smoke will be coming. And if you see, actually the camera starts from the low angle and then it will go to the up angle. Have you observed all those things? Just imagine that frame. So it is still in my brain and it is living rent-free in my brain and it will be there forever. The beauty of that one framing, it has given me a memory for lifetime, right? So that is the way in which you should appreciate the movie, and that is the way in which you should watch the movie. Are you getting? Each frame of the movie should live happily in your brain ever after. Getting? So that is what you can get from this movie as well. That is The Hobbit. See, your first focus will be there, but if you observe this, there is a small boat. So here, what is the director's point of view is that whatever the journey these people are taking, compared to this big task which is ahead, it is nothing. Getting? So that is the symbolization the director wants to bring. Getting? So if you observe all these things, then you will see that you will appreciate the beauty of the director as well. Are you getting? Understanding this? Everyone? And second most important fact, see, when you sit in the theaters, it is not just the the sensory function, that is, what is that, auditory function is not just functioning there. Even your ears is there, your eyes is working. Basically, all the sense organs will be functioning very, very effectively, right? Another important aspect of the movie is background score. Background music. So that is very, very, very essential, because the same scene, if I change the background music, so from like let's say comedy to horror, it can transit. So that is the power of music. I'll just show you this two of my favorite compositions of this background scores, and then we'll discuss a little bit about those scenes. Okay, so this is one. Rajesh, sound.
Fall into the nothingness that awaits you and your master. Do you not know death when you see it, old man? This is my power.
With more than 5 crore verified members, I hire the right candidates fast.
Fall into the nothingness that awaits you and your master. Do you not know death when you see it, old man? This is my power. You have failed. The world of men will fall.
Take your area down the left flank. Galley, follow the king's banner down the centre. Remove, take your company right after you pass the wall. Forth, and fear no darkness. Arise, arise, riders of Theoden. Spears shall be shaken. Shields shall be splintered. A sword day, a red day, and the sun rises.
Whatever happens, stay with me. I'll look after you.
Okay, rest of the thing you watch it later. Now there are certain things I want to highlight here. See, just a while ago I was telling you this, the technical aspects you should be appreciating in the movies, etc. and all, right? Now, see, I told you about framing. Did you saw each frame there? Don't you think that it is magnificent? Like imagine that 5,000, 20,000 horses going into this battle. That is not an easy thing. Second thing, think from this music director's point of view. Like the narration the director would have given to this person is that, see, this many horses, this many people, he will be going to this fight, right? But think like this, see, essentially when that person, like that king was giving the speech for the people. So if you observe there, so what he was saying is that we'll ride for death. So they are certain that the death is upon them. The world ending is upon them. At that point of time, what kind of music I should be giving? Is there a definition for that? But this director has given us the feeling which is like going to be in our mind forever. Believe me, even if I watch Bahubali or else whatever the movie, this is the thing which will be running in my mind. Getting? Because that is the sort of impression this person has given. That is the impression that, okay, if the death is there in front of me, this is the music it should be playing for me. That is one thing, correct? Again, if you have observed there, the minute things, how much they will focus is that, see, in the second time when there is this, what is that, the conch will be made, this sound will be coming, if you have seen. In the first, it would be a single one. So then there was a single music. But if you see, in the second time when he says that he will go for this, ride of death, multiple people will be playing that conch, right? At that time, if you see, there is a little bit imbalance in the syncing of the sound because everybody will not be blowing the horn at the same time. So that is the detail thing which is there in this music. Getting? If you give this kind of attention to the movies, believe me, even your studies will also be there. Because whatever the detailing you are giving here, same thing will be reflected in your studies or else any aspect of your life. Are you getting? So that's why detailing is very, very essential. And this kind of music, it will give you otherworldly feeling. Yes? So that is one movie, that is LOTR, Lord of Rings. Again, as I said, 3 movies are there just for this Lord of Rings. Hobbits, again 3 movies are there, totally 6 is there. If I want to put it, it would be more than 24 hours of your time. So you should be careful enough before watching it. Getting? But if you ask me, it is one of the greatest movies ever made in this mankind. Getting? I'll show you another one, very small one. So this is from Dune. First, let's watch it. After that, I will explain. Okay, the rest of the things again you can watch. But see, the person who was playing that guitar, the electric guitar, is the same musician for LOTR as well as for this. His name is Hans Zimmer. Okay, he has produced a lot of greatest musical works. Okay, the thing is, if you see LOTR and you listen to both, right? Can you see the distinctive difference there? Yes. So in this, like in the video, did you feel like the music is kind of unworldly, like it is very, very, very different? So that is his point of view. So essentially, if you take all of this space movies, if you have seen Star Wars, at least you would have heard, Star Trek, yes, or this one, Space Odyssey, have you heard? So these are like some of the classics of the space genre, okay? So if you watch all these things, the established norm is that they will play with this European orchestra. So European orchestra, they will use a particular set of instruments and same sort of music would be coming every space movie. Okay, so here this person's logic is that, see, anyway, this thing is not happening on the earth itself. So whatever the sounds I'm going to create, it should be unworldly, not belonging to this world. So that's why he has went into this electric, genre. If you observe, even the guitar is electric, even the drummers, everything basically, even the music, like in the beginning, that humming it was coming, it is also different. Even that, the singer, the lead singer was singing, so that is also a different kind of thing. So what I am trying to say is that whenever you watch this kind of movies, it should be open-ended in your brain, plus it should also process this kind of detailing, right? See, this thing will come by watching more movies, one, second, getting the more knowledge. Are you getting? So as I said, how to watch a movie. So another important thing is background music. Getting? Now, again, I hope you can rectify, you can identify this poster. It is from Fight Club. If you have not seen, again, one of the classic, let's not go there, but essentially what is the point of view of putting this as lighting? Lighting, because if you see, half of his face is getting that light and half of his face is dark. And there is a symbolism of this. If you know or else watch the movie, you'll get to know. Because essentially in the, like almost for 99% of the movie, it would be shown as if there are two characters. In the end, we'll get to know that the same person is playing two characters. Again, split personality you can say, right? So split personality, half is light, half is dark. Not just here, if you observe movie carefully, in most of the scenes, this light and dark plays there. Getting? So that's why lighting is also another creative work which will be used in the cinemas to give us a different point of view. Again, if you observe, you'll get it know. Getting? So lighting is one. Now, the another most important valuable thing is attention. As I said, the details is in, the devil is in the details. That's why I have to give more attention for the details when we watch a movie. Okay? And of course, the camera angles, as I said, for example, you would have watched this KGF. So in KGF, if you see, most of the scenes, it will be darker. So that is a different kind of lighting technique, right? But here, if you see the camera point, so we say 3-pointing camera. That is, if I want to highlight the person like this, the high keys is there. That is clear image. For example, if you have seen this, we call it Life of Pi. Have you seen? In most of the scenes, essentially, there will be good lighting. Getting? So that is 3-point focus. We'll try to give maximum lighting for the protagonist. Getting? And there is this, this scene, for example, Kalki, have you seen? So if you see that Deepika Padukone, when she is walking from that fire, if you see that image itself will be darker, rest of the scene will be brighter. So that is a scene. Getting? In most of the legendary entrances of the heroes or as the protagonist, this is the technique we will use. Getting? So that is there. So again, like golden hour, that is the dawn and dusk, like the sunrise and the sunset hours, that is a different kind of lighting we'll be using. Are you getting? So lighting, another thing you have to appreciate in the movies. Getting? Everyone? Right. Right. And those are some of the basics I wanted to highlight on how to watch a movie. So next time when you go to the theater or whenever you are watching something, so keep these things in the mind and enjoy yourself. Getting? And the purpose of saying all these things is not just to show off that, I know all these things, just to make people also see the movies in which I am saying. Because I got a lot of benefit from watching the movies. People often criticize watching the movies. That's why I wanted to give a different picture. That is the entire purpose of, coming here and speaking all these things. Not just to distract you or else, not just to waste your time or something like that. Getting? Now, the important aspect, the most important aspect, probably it will be very, very useful for your examinations as well. That is, one, movies is there. Second, exams is there. What we need is balance. How are we going to balance it, and how are we going to use these movies in your examination? So that is the point we will be focusing now. So here what I will do is that I will take the movies examples itself. From that movie, I will give you a brief, like what are the things I have learned from that, and then I will relate that for your UPSC examination. For ethics and also for essay, how that could be helpful. By taking the PYQs itself, I will relate to it. Okay. So first one, if you see, like why this perceiving movies along with your examinations is important. That is what I wanted to highlight here first, right? Because you can easily say that, sir, I am willing to sacrifice anything for clearing this examination. Then I can sacrifice the movie also. But I am saying that if you keep the movies within your life, then it will be worthwhile. So why? So this is the one. Hobbies are the treasures you collect along the journey of life. Because see, the sole purpose, or else there is no sole purpose, I know. But the thing is that one of the purpose of being born on this earth is to enjoy the earth which is provided to us, correct? And the civilization has given us movies. And if you take this movie, if you ask me, it is a evolutionary history, or also a evolutionary documentation of ourselves. So whatever the movies is there, it depicts that time's realities. So if you watch all those things, don't you think that the evolution of humankind is also there? So then you'll be looking at yourself in a way, you'll be discovering yourself in a way. Self-discovery will also happen, correct? So that's why keep movies along with your examinations. Plus, so this is again by a famous director. We love films and storytelling as a people. It is just a human compulsion to listen to and tell stories. It is very important. Again, if I want, I can relate to this Game of Thrones. I would hope everybody would have heard. Kelidira. At least you would have heard, right? Okay. In this, essentially in the final season, there is this beautiful dialogue from this Tyrion Lannister. So he says that, what defines us is essentially the story. So there is nothing powerful than a compelling story, because stories are the one which keeps us interesting. For example, you would have heard a lot of folk tales, right? The Janapada Kategalu, Danta Kategalu, etc. All those things is created by us only to keep us more motivated, interested, correct? So that's why there is a inevitable compulsion within us to tell the stories, and movies is a powerful way of telling a story, correct? Now, from the examination point of view, okay, so we'll see some of these things. Can you read this name? Edson Nascimento. Let's take those two names. It is a Brazilian name, okay? Nascimento. Have you heard about this person? Nascimento? No? No? If I say you this another name, at least can you identify the photo? His name is Pele. His name is Pele. Actual name is Nascimento. The parents had kept that name, Nascimento. Pele was the name used to criticize this person. Pele was the name used by his friends to criticize him and to make little of him. The beauty is that he wear that itself as his name and became a legend in the game. Getting? So what I'm trying to say is that it doesn't matter what people are calling you as of now. We can wear that itself as a sword and we can fight with those people. Getting? So that is what Pele has done. So this one should have been in the next slide. It's fine. But there is a movie itself. It is called as Pele. The interesting thing is that the music direction for this is from A.R. Rahman. Getting? Again, if you have not watched this movie, do watch it. It is very, very interesting, right? For example, here there is a term. See, forget that this is existing here. Just look at this. So there is a word called as Jenga. Have you heard? Jenga. So Jenga is basically a football style. Okay. So if you take this origin of the football, essentially it was played by these Europeans. And Europeans, when they essentially captured, or as let's say started colonizing many of this South American as well as like North American, African nations, especially in this Brazilian region, Portugal region. What happened is that they believed in the white supremacy and football was supposed to be played by Europeans itself. Then what this people, essentially in little bit darker color, when they started playing this game, they put the ban on them, and essentially after that the Europeans decided that okay, we'll have a game with these people and we'll use this opportunity to degrade them. But what did these people think? It is an opportunity for us to defeat this white supremacy, right? So that's why at that point of time, those who knew this martial arts, right? So they practice a separate style of football called as Jinga. Obviously, Europeans didn't have the power of withstanding it. Jinga is obviously, if you have seen the football, have you seen this Ronaldinho? So dribbling skills, have you seen? Like you feel like, as if the ball is attached to their legs itself. The ball is not going anywhere else. So that kind of style it is called as Jinga. Right now it is pretty common. Back then actually it was banned. And in fact, this technique was used to basically attack the opposite players during this period. And essentially it was banned, and it was said that nobody should play this. This is a technique used by the monkeys. So you should not use this. All these things was there. And essentially the Pele's father, he himself was a football player. And he meets with a tragic accident while playing, so he was not able to play anymore, and his son got this fascination for the game, okay? And essentially they didn't even have the shoes to play the game. And essentially how did this person perform or else practice? It is by taking mangoes, because if you take a ripened mango, if you hit a little bit faster, it will break. So you have to be gentle, at the same time you have to keep you had to give sufficient amount of pressure for that to come in the air, and he was practicing like that, getting? So that is the perfection he had got. And again he was selected to this Brazilian national team, okay? So the coach was white, and he outrightly said that nobody should practice Jinga, but this person plays Jinga like God, okay? And without playing the Jinga, he was not able to play at all. And he used to say that, formation should be there, you should pass to this person should pass to that, etc. and all. If you have seen the football, you know how this passing thing will happen. And this person was not fitting into that bill, okay? When the final match came, the coach itself realized that, no, this is not at all possible. We are Brazilians. We should believe in what is our nativity. Let's play Jinga itself. Let's show the beauty to the white. And that final match, till today, it is a legendary match. Getting? And even the king and queen of European nations who were present in that match was applauding for Pele. So that is how a single person's belief can change the entire complexity of the game. But in the beginning, it was not at all possible. Even his father actually told him that don't play this game, because he had seen that worse, what the game could do to him. If injury is happening, nobody is going to care you. Getting? So for example, Gopichand itself, right, has given this quote that don't let your children play the game if at all you are not rich. Not seen? Pele Gopichand has said that. Yes, same thing was there in that sport as well. Getting? So this is a brief introduction of this person. Now, so how can this be useful for your examination? If you watch this movie, so many things to learn. Okay, so some of the things I will try to relate to your examinations. So first one, can you read a little bit louder? A smile is a chosen vehicle for all ambiguities. So what is ambiguity? What is ambiguity? That is the problem. See, especially in the essays and ethics, the problem in the examination is that they will use one or two words which most of the students wouldn't know. Getting? So that's why I have to increase your vocabulary as well. Okay? Ambiguity is like kind of confusions, right? Kind of uncertainties, right? So when we face this uncertainties, when we face this ambiguities, when we face these problems, what we do? The first thing is that the smile from our face will vanish. Suddenly all this, saddest feelings will creep in, correct? But the best solution is to smile. Same thing was there in this person's life as well. Whatever the challenges thrown at this person, he always had that smile on the face. Getting? So that's why a simple smile could be a solution for ambiguities. So there you can use this, and that was a essay topic in 2022. Okay? This one. Read it louder so that I can recover a little bit. ಜೋರ ಓದಿ ಇನ್ನ LKG ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಓದ್ತಾರೆ. Read. Your perception of me is a reflection of you. My reaction to you is a awareness of me. So 2021 essay topic. Believe me, in the examination hall, most of the students didn't get the meaning of it itself, because it is very little bit complex for the students to understand in a single reading. Are you getting the meaning of this? Yes? Yes or no? What is the meaning? What is the meaning? That is the problem. See, one, there are two things, okay? One, you don't understand at all. Second thing is that you feel like you are understanding something, but what is that something you don't know. That is the problem, especially in the philosophical essays. This is the most important problem, right? So what this person is saying is that, see, for example, okay, let's say if I weigh around 105, 110, let's say. So if another person is sitting there and if he is calling me as a fat person, or else let's take the controversial topic itself. If you know, there was a tweet on Rohit Sharma, right? Let's not take the names, nothing, right? So let's say there was a tweet on Rohit Sharma. You know what is the tweet? Gotidya? Body shaming, right? So let's say whatever that tweet was there, that is not the reflection of what Rohit Sharma is. That is the reflection of that person's mind. So whatever that the person who had tweeted, his mind was saying that that person was fat. But what Rohit Sharma chose is ignorance. He did not even give reply to that. So that is the awareness of that person. Because he knows that if I reply to this, only there will be bad consequences. Rather, I will ignore it. Are you getting? So that is the meaning of it. Getting? Whatever the comment I receive, whatever you are going to say, that is essentially the reflection of your mind. And how I am going to respond for you, that is the awareness of me. I understand myself better, so that's why I am managing myself whenever you are even giving me a wrong comment. Same thing was there with Pele also, because Pele itself is a derogative name given by his friends to criticize him, right? But he took it in a good way, and on the jersey he had written it as Pele itself. Are you getting? Right? So that was a 2021 essay topic. Learn everything that is good from others, but bring it in and your own way, absorb it. Do not become others. Swami Vivekananda. And this is from ethics. This is in the ethics. This is the quote they had given. Here, see, when the white coach was teaching this other styles of football, obviously Pele was learning those things. He was trying to observe those things, but he never became that white person who is playing that white person's football game. He remained original. He played his Jenga game, but he still absorbed those European skills as well. Getting? So that is the meaning. See, in the essays or else in the ethics, what happens is that mostly and over exploited examples is Gandhiji, Hitler, Mother Teresa, done and dusted. I'm not saying they are not useful. I'm saying that your perception should change. The way in which you write those examples, that should be different. Or else, at least another way is that you can use this kind of examples. Got it? Yes. So that is the first movie I want to recommend for you, that is Pele. But again, obviously I cannot give you the exhaustive list. If I go on doing that, it will take eternity. It is not at all possible because I have watched so much movies, so it is not at all possible. Whatever it is coming to the top of my mind, that is what I have put into my slides. Okay. So second movie I want to highlight is The Gifted Hands. Very unique movie, very interesting movie. In fact, there is a book as well called as The Gifted Hands. Okay. So here it is a story about a surgeon. So his name is Ben Carson. Okay. So Ben Carson is world famous for doing the surgery on this attached twins. If you have seen twins, whenever they're born, there will be some sort of problems. Like brain will be attached, or else hands will be attached, legs will be attached, etc., etc. This was the surgeon, like in the first time in the entire world, was successfully dissected and both children lived. Getting? Now it sounds very successful, and you may imagine that this person should have had very good knowledge, very good education, etc. and all. That's entirely ulta. Getting? This person had this problem of anger. He was feeling agitated and he was very, very extremely angry. So what you are seeing there is, of course, that is a Game of Thrones scene. But here what happened is that when he was a kid, so another friend of him basically belittled him, like criticized him, or else let's say for example, passed some sort of wrong comment. So this person had a knife in his hand. So he actually went on to stab that small kid. Luckily, the belt was there for that kid. No injuries happened. But at that day, his mother made him to promise that in the future he is never going to get that anger. And he promised and he lived up to that. That is one thing I want to say. Second interesting thing is that how much parenting actually matters. See, his mother was actually a maid, was working in a person, like well-read person was there in his home. She used to work as a maid. The interesting thing is that she never understood or else was never able to read whatever the things it is there in the books. Whenever Ben Carson used to ask doubts to her mother, so she used to say that, today I don't have the spectacles. today I have that problem, this problem, and she used to postpone. So luckily he used to get to know the solution by himself. But if at all she had let this kid to know that they are from a degraded society at that point of time, racism, etc., was there. So they are from this section, so that's why the education is not there, etc. and all. If she had said that story to that kid, obviously he also would have believed, and also he would have believed that maybe I am from this section, that's why the education is not there. So that's why these things are not going into my mind. So that's why she narrated the story in a different way, then the rest is history. Getting? So that's why parenting is also very, very important. As perception, or as how we see the things, that is very important, right? So that is Ben Carson's. Now, so here, how can we use this? Again, she is the mother, so she passed away. Now, this is how we can use this in our essays or else ethics. The first one, words are stronger than that of two-edged sword. So that was the 2014 essay topic. Just now I told you, if the mother had told the truth at that point of time, the perceived truth was that black people are not supposed to get intellectuality. It was only for the higher class people. If she had said the same thing, the result would have been devastating, correct? So, and also see, every time we get obsessed with the truth, so truth is the one which should prevail. And here, did she tell the truth? At times, telling a lie for a right reason may also be justifiable. That is also another thing we can take from this. Howdalva, right? Another one, attitude makes habit, habit makes character, and character makes man. If you take that habit of anger, right? So he had that attitude of getting anger at everyone. So he modified that. Then he became a man with a character who can save the lives. Getting? So that is one you can use. Life is a long journey between being human and being human. So this is where usually we'll get this example of Hitler, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, etc., etc. So this is one of the over-exploited essay topic everybody would have written. Okay. So, but here again, if you see, you may be born as a human being, but that doesn't make you. See, human being, human. What is the difference? Human means having that values, having that morals, which make you feel like you are a human being when compared to other animals. Are you getting? So here, in the beginning, when we had this animalistic instincts of anger, of even going to an extent of killing another person, modified that, and he became a human. So maybe the birth was as human being. So to become a human, there is a long journey. So there also you can use this example. Yes. Then do not hate anybody because the hatred that comes out from you must in long run come back to you. If you love, that love will come back to you, completing the circle. Swami Vivekananda. Again, this is ethics question. See, if you read this bigger quote in the examination, think in the examination point of view, okay? One, bigger. Second, two emotions are there, love, hate. In that short space, 10 marks, you have to bring both the emotions. And if you go for abstractism, like just writing one line and going to the next line, it doesn't give meaning, then you have to explain as well. So for those things, you should have unique examples and unique ways of writing the explanation. So there again, you can use this person's life. Are you getting this? Right? See, the genre which I am exploring now is biopics. Why I am starting with the biopics is that we'll get let's say countless number of examples, right? So which can be used for your examination as well as for your improvement in your life, right? Again, one of my favorite movies, it is Into the Wild. Has anyone heard about this? So again, I should warn, it is not a movie for everyone, okay? The thing is, Into the Wild, it is about a person called as Chris McCandless, okay? So this bus actually, it is quite famous if you watch the movie. Plus there is also another movie called as The Nomad Land. So this one has, this actress Frances McDormand, so she has won this Oscars for the best acting in this movie. And that person, that movie, it is both is essentially, this is hypothetical, but that is biopic. In both the cases, what happens is, let's say, at times you feel directionless, or else you want to find your purpose in the life, and there are so many ways of getting that. These two people will basically choose this difficult path. The path is that they will go on exploring the life. That is, let's say for example, I will tell you that person's thing. whatever the savings he had, 99% of that he had donated for a trust. And then he had this, one of the age-old cars, he takes that car, he will go on this road without any destination. Where he is going, no destination. He's just going in the car breaks down, he puts that car on the side, and then he would be left out with some money. So what he does is very, very interesting. So he burns that money. He burns that money and he'll start walking off from that car. So his intention is that this money is dragging me down, because as long as I have this money, I kind of feel that somebody will steal this, somebody will do this. So he'll leave those money, belongings, everything, will just carry few books, few clothes, and he will be walking. So whosoever is coming on the road, he will be hitchhiking, he will be asking for the drop, he will be going to that destination. He goes to this farmer's house, he will do the farming, whatever the wages that farmer is giving plus the food he is giving, he is happy with that, and then he will go. In this way, he will basically explore the life. Getting? So that is into the wild. Nomad land, pretty much the same story. See, so if you observe actually the nomad land, so there is different colors there, have you seen? So that is actually the number plate of different states in the USA. Getting? Because she has this plan. During the summer, this state, during this winter, this state, during the spring, this state. She will keep on moving from one state to another state, from one place to another place. Again with a small van which is there. So in that van only she will be sleeping. Interesting thing. Again, as I said, it is not for everyone, because you should be having that empty-mindedness and also acceptance for not having materialism in your life. Getting? Again, I will relate that to the UPSC. The first quote I want to say, again, it is a UPSC topic itself, that not all who wanders is lost. Just because they are wandering doesn't mean that they don't have the purpose. They don't have the direction. Their direction is something which the society is not understanding. Getting? So you can use these two examples there. Getting? Yes. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication, obviously. So what these people had is just basic minimum necessities. With that only they were happy, but the same kind of happiness was not there even for the multi-millionaires or the multi-billionaires. Yes or no? So this is again 2021 essay topic, that is philosophy of wantlessness is utopian, while the materialism is chimera. So what is utopian? Utopian is kind of, Ramarajya kelidira. So that is a mythical or a nearly impossible thing where everything is equal, everything is perfect. That is utopian. Chimera is, cancer kelidira. So cancer is the cell, those things we call it as chimera, right? So that is like kind of bad tissue you can say, or else the bad thing you can say. Okay. So what they are saying is that the philosophy of wantlessness, I don't want anything in my life, is utopian, not possible. At the same time, materialism, etc., etc. So that is chimera. So what they are asking is, simply if I want to put it, middle path of Buddha. What he had said, so that is the interpretation that is coming from this. But the problem is that in the examination, this kind of clarity will not come. Okay, but the movies again can give you that clarity, because here if you see, this people, they chose extreme form of simplicity. Can I say like that? Because they could have had decent home, they could have had a decent car, decent wages, could have settled. Yes, that is one of the way which we can live. They chose this extreme path where they go on exploring the life on the foot. That is extremes, correct? So the philosophy of wantlessness is utopian. Can I say like that? Correct. At the same time, materialistic obviously can take so many examples and you can compare them and you can write a beautiful essay. Getting? So that is one. Best for an individual is not necessary best for the society. So this extreme wantlessness could have worked for these two people, but not for everyone in the society. Yes, can I use that? Are you getting or not? He would reign within himself and folds his passions and desires and fears is more than a king. So it is a 1993 topic, but again it is relevant even today. So what he is saying is that, the quote is saying is that self-control. If you have that, you are more than that of a king. Because why king? What is the job of the king? One, expansion of the empire. Because he is not satisfied with what he wants, what he has. He wants more. So that's why he is going on exploring. If you take Alexander, same story, correct? But he who is satisfied with himself is more than that of a king. Can I say like that? Because these two people were happy with the minimal things in their life. Yes or no? So that's why they are more than the king. Can I use the example there? Are you following? Everyone? Good. We can never obtain peace in the outer world until and unless we obtain the peace within ourselves. Dalai Lama, again essay topic, same thing. Because these two people had the peace within themselves. They were not fighting the battles with outer world. So they were happy within. So for example, if I want, I can relate to this movie called as Kung Fu Panda. Have you heard? So in the Kung Fu Panda, if you see, in the second part, you'll be having this fight with this peacock. Right? So there if you see, this master Shifu, he will say that he should master inner peace. Then only he will be able to achieve the things. Then he will master that inner peace. The battle is within. Once there is an inner peace, then you can battle with the world. So that is what the code is saying. There also you can use this same movie example. Getting? See, what I am saying is that this is the gist of this movie. There are so many other things essentially in this movie, which I go on telling about each movie, it can take like hours together. So that's why I'm asking you to watch the movie. Getting? Okay. Next one. Another masterpiece of the movie ever made. So that is Hacksaw Ridge. You would have heard about this World Wars, Dunkirk, Kelidira. So it has won this Oscars, that's why it is quite famous. Okay. But less appreciated movie, but a very, very fascinating movie that is called as Hacksaw Ridge. Very, very important one. Let's say first, okay. Can you read this quote, please, Lord? Help me get one more. So you can see the soldier with arms. So typical thing which comes to our mind is that he is asking the God to help him kill another enemy. Avdalva? That's totally ulta. 100% ulta. See, the interesting part of this person is this, his name is Desmond Doss. He is the only US soldier to win the country's highest bravery award without killing a single enemy soldier. He never fired a single bullet from his gun, but still he won the award for bravery. It is not an easy thing. It is not an easy thing. And to believe that, and see, at that point of time, the people believed nursing is only for women. Men are supposed to take the arms and they are supposed to kill the people. But this person chose another way. He was put in the front, was put in the battlefront. He chose to save the enemy soldiers also. He dragged from that hell and he saved them. And if you see this movie, essentially Hacksaw Ridge means basically it is a elevated portion. From there, we'll tie this one rope, and from that rope, he will keep on sending the bodies of the injured soldiers. Getting at the end, in that movie, there is a very, very interesting thing. So if you read this quote, most of these men don't believe the same way you do, but they believe so much in how much you believe. So what he is trying to say is that, see, you may believe in non-violence, you may believe in whatever the case may be, but we are not believing that. But what we believe is you. Whatever you say, I am believing in that. In fact, at the end of the movie, there is in fact, in the beginning of the movie itself, there is an interesting thing. He will be reading the Bible. That's Desmond Doss, he will be reading the Bible, and the soldiers will be waiting in the line just for him to complete the Bible. See, all the soldiers are not believing in the Bible, but they are believing in that person's good. Getting? So that is the beauty which you can bring when you start to believe in yourself, whatever it may be. Because it is not accepted in the society doesn't mean that you are wrong. You should believe in yourself even when the society is saying that you are wrong. Getting? So that is what you can learn from this. Again, I don't know how I am going to live with myself if I don't stay true to what I believe. So this is what Desmond Doss said. As I said earlier also, this is a person, he was just a private actually. In fact, if you want, there is another World War movie, very, very interesting one. It is called as Saving Private Ryan. If you have not watched it, again, a beautiful masterpiece. I think it was directed by Steven Spielberg, the same person who has made Jurassic Park. Saving Private Ryan. Very, very interesting movie. You can watch it as well. So here also he was just a private and he won this country's highest bravery award without firing. So that is quite a thing, because even today you cannot fathom that idea that essentially this thing can happen. Getting? So that is one. Okay. Again, how can we use this in our examination? The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. See here, obviously he was serving his nation. Could have chosen only to save those that person's country's soldier. He saved even the enemy soldiers. So that's why he lost himself in the service of others. That's why he was able to find the purpose of himself. That is one of the interpretation we can have here. Howdalva, right? Again, it was said by Gandhiji. Here, the most exploited example here the people will give is Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa served this. People were thought to be untouchables, etc. And all. I'm not wrong. I'm saying it is not wrong, but it is kind of overexploited. For how many days you are going to say the same thing? You can look for other people as well. Correct? Values are not what humanity is, but what humanity ought to be. Yes or no? Here also we may say this non-violence. We may say that peace as the values of humanity, but that is not what humanity is as of now. It is what it is supposed to be. Are you getting? So that is the meaning. Are you getting the dimensions now? Everyone? There is nothing either good or bad, but essentially that is true itself. If you want, actually there is another book recommendation. It is called as When Breath Becomes Air. When Breath Becomes Air by Paul Calatini. Right? Essentially the author is a doctor. See, if I am the patient, if I go to this doctor, I will say that, sir, I have this pain, I have that, this, etc. and all. But the reality is that I don't know how much pain or else what exactly it is happening within my body. And doctor will understand something. And that doctor will give me a recommendation for something, correct? But the truth is, beyond these two people, see, so we can say that, okay, this is COVID, this is that, this, etc. and all. But what I am experiencing physiologically cannot be quantified. But as a patient, I will be exaggerating. I will say that this much of problem is there, that much of problem is there. But the reality is somewhere above. The truth is somewhere above. But what makes something as good or bad, what makes something as truth or false is thinking. What I think, so that is what I believe. So you can use the same thing here as well. Yes or no? Every work has got to pass through hundreds of difficulties before succeeding. Those that persevere will see the light sooner or later. Again, it was asked in ethics, Vivekananda. Getting? Same thing, because when he was in that army camp, if he watched that movie, he was given hell. Because if you don't fire, you will be doing that, this, etc. All the threats were there. Even despite all those things, he believed in that philosophy. And he stood by that at the end also. Right? So that is what it is saying. Getting? Ethics is knowing the difference between what you have the right to do and what is the right thing to do. Very important, right? So again, by Potter Stewart, again it was asked in the ethics itself, right? See, as a soldier, you have the right to kill, right? But that doesn't mean that it is the right thing to do, right? Here also, this soldier, he had the right to kill the enemy soldiers, but he chose the right thing for not killing that person. Are you getting this? Right? Okay. Another movie which everyone should watch if you are a sports enthusiast is this movie called as Race. See, you might have heard about Usain Bolt, everybody. The media made him famous actually. Believe me, if at all the media was there during this person's time, he would have been like immortal. This person's name is Jesse Owens. Jesse Owens. Just read these things, okay? So in 1936, the history was written, right? 1936, it was the Olympics and it was happening in Germany, okay? At that point of time, Germany was under Nazi control. And if I want to give a little bit more basics to this, there was Jews versus this Aryan race, if you know, and they were essentially killing these Jews, etc., those things were there. And the person, this is a US citizen essentially, okay, black but is a US citizen. So in this team also there were Jews and they were asked to take back their candidacy from this Olympics. A lot of politics was going on and essentially this section of a society in the US, they wanted this person to not participate so that it will make this international headlines, etc. and all. So there was a lot of pressure on this person and he was there in this event, okay. Now just read this. On that day in the 1936, these are the things which happened. 3:15. See, at that time, no meters, it was yards. Yards are longer than that of the meters actually, if you know. So 100 yards dash was there and he had completed that in 9.4 seconds. Getting that is yards. What Usain Bolt ran is 9.58, that is meters. Meters is shorter than that of the yards, which means this person has outran even our Usain Bolt. Getting? So that is at 3:15, 3:25 long jump. 8.13 meters. 3:45, 220 yards dash, again 20.3 seconds. 4 p.m., 220 yards low hurdles. You know hurdles, right? They will be jumping, right? You have seen, right? So that is hurdles, again 22.6 seconds. The beauty is that within this 45 minutes, 4 world records were broken. Until today, those records stands. And just in 45 minutes, despite having, in fact, US Olympics committee itself was threatening to this person, saying that if at all the medal color is not gold, you will be valued nothing in the country. This is what they had said. Getting? And it is quite a miracle that this person just in 45 minutes, think today, essentially if long jump is there, that will be in the next day event. Getting, you will get the time to recover, you will get the time to do nutritious things, and then you can go and compete. Just in 45 minutes, he rewrote the history records. Are you even able to imagine? So that is the beauty of this Jesse Owens. And despite this, again, apartheid was there, racism was there, even he was not allowed to enter into the restaurants as well, even in USA. Forget about other countries. Getting? So that is Jesse Owens. Now, read that first part. To a sprinter, the 100-yard dash is over in 3 seconds, not in 9 seconds. Which means the starting should be good. That is the meaning. Because if you want to run like 100 meters or else 100 yards, the first 3 seconds where you run, that matters a lot. Because there you can get the edge over other runners. You cannot do that, like pretty rare it can happen, but usually that is not the case. That is what this person says. Even in the preparation, even in the life, getting that first things right is very, very important. That is the meaning of it. Getting? Now, the battles that count aren't the ones for gold medals, that struggle within yourself. The invisible, the inevitable battles inside us, inside all of us, that is where it is. Getting? So that's what he is also saying. The battles which we fight within us, it is not for the medals, it is not for the color of the medals, rather it is for ourselves. That is what it matters. That is what Jesse Owens had said. Getting? Right? No. So there is another interesting aspect of this person. Okay, when this 1936 Olympics was happening in Germany, there was this long jumper in the Germany. His name is Luz Long. I think, yeah, here also the name is given. Luz Long is his name. He was the German 6-time national champion, right? He was the German 6-time national long jump champion, and he was a hot favorite in the Germany to win the long jump. If you remember, just a while ago I told you that Jesse Owens won this, correct? Interesting thing is that Jesse Owens had this kind of weird practice. That is, let's say if this is the pitch for which it is there for me to run, and that cabin which you are seeing, that is the sand part where I am supposed to jump. Jesse Owens used to have a casual walk there into the sand itself. He used to get the feeling of all those things, and he used to like judge from where he should take the jump. Okay. Interesting thing is that if he crossed that line, it is counted as first attempt, and he did that because it was his practice. It was his practice. He did that. Then he realized that this is what it is happening. Next jump, essentially, he was not able to judge from where he has to jump. So that's why he jumped even a little bit further away from the line. So here, obviously, if this Luz Long wanted, he could have remained silent. What he did is very, very beautiful sportsmanship. He took a towel from his camp and he put that exactly near the line where he is supposed to take the jump. And he did, and he broke that world record. So Luz Long, because of this, he lost value in Germany. Because at that point of time, think Nazism, Hitler was supposed to be the god. Yes or no? So in all those things, Luz Long essentially openly, publicly, even there in that image, if you see, is holding the hand of Jesse Owens and is taking the walk in that Olympic park where even Hitler is sitting. It is not something like everybody can do it, because you are throwing away your career, you are throwing away your the nation's pride, etc., etc. But you are representing something higher than all those things. Getting? Are you understanding? Until death, they both remained very good friends. In fact, speaking of this friendship, there is another animated movie called as Elemental, right? So there a love happens between this water element and the fire element. Water and fire, again, it is not mixable. But again, a beautiful love story happens between these two elements. Same thing is there between Luz Long and Jesse Owens, because Germany and USA at that point of time, it was not at all even possible to be thinking as friends. Okay, something beautiful happened there also. Getting? So that is Race. So another movie, if I want to suggest, so that is The Prestige. again directed by this Christopher Nolan. Okay, similar sort of genre it is there. This is the Revenant, which I was telling you earlier. Okay, so this is acted by this Leonardo DiCaprio, and there is Hugh Jackman. Okay, if you know Wolverine, so same actor. Okay, so here the common theme is revenge. In both the genres, the common theme is revenge or else the anger. Okay, I'll give you a little bit of the plot. Okay, okay. So first one, or else first I will give you this backdrop. After that you can understand. If you take Prestige, it is between two magicians. Okay, one wants to prove that he is better magician than the another, and both these magicians will go to extreme lengths. In fact, it goes to such a length that a death will happen. After the death, he will realize that this obsession is not good. Okay, so then that conversation will happen. Can you read that? Hasn't good come from your obsessions at first, but I followed them too long. I am their slave, and one day they will choose me to destroy me. Getting? So that's why obsession is bad. You want to be better than another person, it is good as long as it is in your control. But if it becomes obsession, then it is taking control of you. So that is one. So here again in the Revenant, see, industrialization you would have heard, right? So this happens essentially in the Alaska setup. So here a group of hunters will basically go into this Alaskan region for lumbering, like breaking, cutting this wood, taking that into this other towns and then making this money, etc. and all. Meanwhile, the major threat is bears. Alaskan bears, if you are seeing grizzly bears, it is quite ferocious. What happens is that this person, Leonardo DiCaprio, will have a son, they will be going for hunting. This son will be killed. Okay, so because of a particular person, like a story is there, if you want to watch, then you will get to know. I don't want to spoil that thrill. So his son will be killed, and it will be because of a particular person. He will get such anger that at any cost you want to have that revenge. Okay, and keeping that in the mind, if you read this, as long as you can still grab a breath, you fight. You breathe, keep breathing. So here, if you just read this quote as it is, it gives you this idea that you want to try. You just have to try. But in the movie, it is about trying to kill another person. Getting? In fact, you will go to this extreme length. You will be cutting this horse open. You will be sleeping in the stomach of the horse because Alaskan winter is very, very dreadful. So you will be sleeping in this horse stomach. In the morning, you will have the breakfast of it itself. And then he goes to this place. He recovers. And then again, after recovering, he will take a horse and he will go to shoot this person. Getting? So revenge, anger, to what lengths it can take you. So that is what it is depicted in these two movies. Okay. So that gives us this 2016 essay topic, that is need brings greed. If greed increases, it spoils the breed. Getting? See here, industrialization, one greed you can say. Because of industrialization, they went on exploring in deeper jungle to cut the tree. As a result of which, actually son died. But it took that reason for another person. Yes or no? So if you take this Prestige, they are also same thing. One wanted to be the better of another, so that became greed. Then they turned into spoiling themselves. Getting? Understanding these things, right? Now you are able to connect the dots between the movies and your examination. You still think that examination is different, movie is different. Believe me, UPSC journey itself is a movie. If you take the failed candidate story, it will be more than that of a Titanic thing. Getting? It can win more number of Oscars than any other movie. So that kind of stories would be there in the failed candidates. Getting? So that's why treat your life also as a movie. So in your movie, obviously you want to be the hero, then you have to behave like a hero, or else heroine for that matter. Okay? You have to behave like that, and you have to be the protagonist in your character. And think like that in the mind. See, it is all about convincing your brain. So you will convince more than in brain, so it will be treating you like that. If you convince yourself as a hero in your life, obviously you want to live like that. If you think that, okay, I am happy with this mediocrity, then obviously you will be happy. Getting? Have higher targets. Okay. Another very, very good movie which every student should watch. It is called as Good Will Hunting. Okay. One of my favorite actor, Robin Williams, is no more, and that person itself is kind of enigma. Okay. He had given us so much beautiful performances in the movie, but he was a drug addict. Okay. He had this problem of depression. He had openly expressed. He was a radio jockey. He was a stand-up comedian as well. He was quite a a personality, but he died. Okay. Let's not go there. Let's come to this movie called as Good Will Hunting. Now think like this. Both your parents, I mean, let's hope that it never happens for anyone, but hypothetically, let's say. Let's think that your both parents has abandoned you. There is no guarantee that they would be coming back to you. And only thing which you have is like, you have a little bit of the literacy where you can read books. Any book you read, you'll understand it. You have that capacity, intellectuality, that any book, it could be mathematics, doctors, whatever the case may be, any book you read, you can get the knowledge of it. If it is the only thing in your life, don't you think that you will become too defensive? Yes or no? Like if anybody wants to criticize you, what you will do is that you will show your prowess in the knowledge. So I know all these things, you are nothing. So that is what you want to prove, correct? Same thing happens with this person. Like Robin Williams is a psychologist there. So that person who is saying there, Matt Damon. And the interesting thing is that Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, this Batman movies, right? So these two people, they were in 20s when they wrote the script for this. Interesting thing is that this movie won the Oscars for best script, and it was written by a 23, 24-year-old. Getting so that is the beauty of this movie. Okay. Now coming back to this, so that will be the backdrop of that Matt Damon in this movie. So here what happens is that he will go to this evening colleges just for fun. He'll be solving this complex mathematical equations. So this will catch the eye of another mathematician. So what that mathematician wants is that he wants to give even more unsolvable mathematical problems, and he wants to get that fame along with this person. That is his interest. But that professor's friend is here that Robin Williams. Okay. So he will ask this person to give this psychological counseling, because Matt Damon, he doesn't have any idea of fame. He doesn't want to get that fame. He's happy where he is. Okay. When he goes to this person, he will basically start criticizing this Robin Williams. So because he would have read all the psychology books, and whatever the technique he is going to adopt, he would be saying that you are trying this thing on me, it is not going to work. You are doing that, it is not going to work. Then how can the psychologist help him? That is his problem. Then essentially the psychologist will find a way to go into his heart and make him cry, and then let this anger, depression, etc., which was there within this person, to come out and then become a better person. Right? So that is the journey which happens in this movie. There is also a quote: you will have bad times, but it will always wake you up to the good stuff you weren't paying attention to. Yes or no? Whenever you feel problematic, then only you will start appreciating the small things in the life, right? So that is what this movie also highlights. So where can we use this? Okay, sorry. Again, in the movie, same movie, there is another quote. I would ask you about love, would probably quote me sonnet. You know sonnet, right? Shakespeare. But I have never looked at a woman and been totally vulnerable. Known someone that could level you with her eyes, feeling like God put an angel on earth just for you, who could rescue you from the deep depths of hell. This is what he says. There is a beautiful conversation which happens at this lake. So they both will be sitting, and this is one of the conversation it will be coming. Now where you can use all those things, okay? Wisdom finds truth, okay? See here, knowledge is different. Wisdom is different. So this person, Matt Damon, what he was doing is just accumulating the knowledge. He was reading the books. He was gaining that psychological books knowledge as well. But what Robin Williams was having is wisdom. So with that wisdom, he was able to give the truth to that small kid at that context to find the purpose of his life. It is not just about proving your knowledge. It is also about understanding your purpose of the life, etc. Right? So that is what you can bring it here. Wisdom finds truth. Thinking is like a game. It does not begin unless there is an. So here I can say like that, because see here, whatever that knowledge it was there, it was just there. It was not thinking. It was not processing that knowledge. So when he met this Robin Williams, he started questioning the basic things of this knowledge. Then he started thinking. Yes or no? So the thinking starts only when there is opponent. It may not be universally true, but in this context, it will fit. Mindful manifesto is the catalyst to the tranquil soul. Yes or no? Tranquil self, tranquil soul, doesn't matter. So what is manifesto? Have you heard this book called as Communist Manifesto? Quite famous. Manifesto means as political manifesto, like every party will come, they will release this manifesto, right? Before the election, pranalika, right? So here manifesto basically means it is what you represent, like what are the things you want to do, etc. and all. So that is manifesto. It says there's mindful manifesto, right? See, initially what that person was feeling is trauma. Because of that trauma, whatever that knowledge it was there in the mind, it was not at all giving him peace. But here that mindful manifesto, this person will give that mindfulness to this person. As a result of which, will start prioritizing the things in his life. He'll be having a girl in his life, but again he will not be giving sufficient amount of let's say attention to her, etc. and all. Because of the talks he will be having this person, he will get that clarity. So because of that mindful manifesto, you will find that tranquil self. In the end, there is a beautiful thing, that is, this person chooses to go with the girl whom he loved rather than going with the mathematical professor to prove to the world that he is a mathematical genius. So that is a mindfulness. Getting? So that's why if you want to relate more to the quotes, you want to watch that movie as well. Getting? Right? We can never obtain the peace in the outer world, same thing which I told earlier, same thing here. Because he found that inner peace in the end, was fighting the battles outside the world as well. Getting? Right. Yeah. So the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of the other. Just a while ago I told you. Now you read this. You don't know about the real loss, because it only occurs when you have loved something more than you love yourself. This is entirely a different kind of interpretation. Just a while ago when I used this quote, I told you that the Desmond does essentially help the enemy soldiers as well. So he lost himself in the service of others. But what here is a different interpretation. You will love something more than yourself so that you will lose yourself and then you will find your purpose. For example, see, once you become parent, then you will start understanding your parents, because you will start to lose yourself for your kid. So that is the path of discovery. It will happen. The same thing it is given in this movie as well. Everyone? Good. Again, another masterpiece, I can say it is called as Troy. Have you heard Troy? Troy. Okay. If you don't know, at least SNT classes agidya. At least here and there in the newspaper you would have seen us heard that Trojan anta kelidira. So what is Trojan? Kelidira illa Trojan. What is Trojan? It is a malware which we use to disrupt your computer. See, if I put that malware into your computer, essentially your computer will get hanged, malfunctions, etc. and all. So that is called as malware. Okay, Trojan. The history of Trojan is beautiful. That is depicted in this movie, Troy. So Troy is as of now I can say it is a city, or I can also use this term called as mythical city, because the archaeological discoveries, it is still going on. So it is believed to be in this modern day Turkey. It is believed to be in this modern day Turkey. The problem is that there are archaeological discoveries as well. The archaeologist says that if you dig the soil in the Turkey, every 10 meters a new civilization is there, because it is a place where dynasties, empires, civilizations has built atop of a civilization. So it is very difficult for us to ascertain that yes, Troy was there, because once you dig, you will get some empire. If you dig deeper, you will get some other empire. So it is very, very difficult for us to say for sure, yes, this is the Troy. Getting? Right? And in fact, if I want to create new interest, there is another movie coming called as Odyssey. It will be directed by Christopher Nolan. Kind of continuity for this Troy. Okay? Now, Troy. So Troy, mythical city, it is the reputation of this Troy is that the walls, or as the fortress of this Troy, it was not breached by anyone. Nobody was able to break the fortress of this Troy. That was the belief. Okay. Here, what happens is that, okay, there you can see that young prince actually he will take this princess from some other state, and he will take this princess to this Troy. Now that is a kind of offense. Obviously, opponent this empire, he will come with the army. And there is a very interesting character you should know, Achilles. Have you heard? Achilles heel is the term we'll use. Achilles heels means it is your vulnerability, it is your weakness. Achilles heel, because Achilles is a soldier, or else let's say warrior. The only way to kill or else beat this person was his heel, because his weakness was heel. Rest of the body was strong as iron. Nobody could defeat this person. Okay, so that is the belief. Now, Achilles doesn't like to fight with any flag. That is, he doesn't want to associate with any flag. He is just a warrior, and just saying his name should make this, people tremble. That was his idea. Okay. So some of this king convinces him to fight for him. He comes there. So in the mix of events, essentially, the Achilles' cousin will be killed by this, the Troy prince. One of the prince will kill this Achilles' cousin. So this Achilles will get enraged. Will try to go to the battle with them. He will kill one of the prince, but he cannot enter into this fortress. So beautiful thing, what this Achilles and other soldiers will do is that whatever the boats in which they had come, because this was near the coast, and whatever the boat it was there, they had come, they dismantled all the boats and prepared this horse-looking statue. They prepared this horse-looking statue, and within this horse-looking statue, it was hollow. And all the soldiers who had come, they were sneaking into this statue. They were within the statue. Now, horse is a holy symbol for this Troy. They believed that these people got scared and they left this shore and they had constructed this because they were fearful of our God. And they believed that the God itself has come here, so we should be taking this God into our fortress. They took this into their fortress, and within the fortress, all the soldiers came out and the battle happened. Troy, which was never destructible, got destroyed. Are you understanding this? That is how this Troy story was there. So same thing if I want to relate to your UPSC essay topic. So there was this quote given in the essay topic, that is, the boat doesn't sink because of the water surrounding around it. It sinks because of the water which gets into it. Simple thing. Because of this belief, religious belief which they had, that a horse is the holy symbol, they themselves took this horse into their fortress. At the end of the day, Troy was destroyed. Getting many other themes also you can learn from this. Very interesting movie, Troy, you can watch it. Okay. So this was his mindset. The gods envy us. They envy us because we are mortal. Because any moment might be our last. Everything is more beautiful because we are doomed. See, this is the idea of death. Have you ever romanticized your death? This is his vision of death. Even if I die, the people will remember my name, so I am immortal. That is his idea. And all the battles he used to choose was groundbreaking. If at all he is going to that battle, his name will be there as sun and moon is there. So it was his idea. So here you see, they will be talking about this war for 1000 years. In 1000 years, the dust from our bones will be gone. This is what the prince says. He says, yes, but our names will remain. So that is his mindset. It is Achilles' mindset was that he is fighting for fame, he is fighting for immortality. Even if I die, my name should be there. Getting? So this is another interpretation of death. So whenever death is coming, don't say just from the biological sense. Even this kind of things also can bring into the essays. Okay? So that is Troy. Now, where we can relate that we may brave human laws but cannot resist natural laws. Death is one of the natural law. Howdalva? Achilles would have immortal in our minds, but essentially is dead. So that is a natural law. But he withstood that human made laws at that point of time. Right? So that is one. Ships don't sink, that I told you just a while ago. Geographies may remain the same, but the history may not. That is, as I told you, Turkey is the geography, right? But as I said, with every 10 meters depth, the history is changing because the civilization itself is changing. Getting? And also history is written by victors. Those who have won, those are the ones who have written the history. So we see the history from victor's point of view. The person who has defeated, who got defeated, his point of view is missing. Getting? So that is another, another thing you can see. So to link this, the Troy to another movie, it is 300. Have you watched? Have you heard at least? Again, it is a very beautiful movie. Again, I can relate to this quote called as ships don't sink because of this water around it. If you know this story, within this Roman kingdom, there was a young girl called as Artemisia. Have you heard? So Artemisia usually used this word for branding as a traitor. Okay. So Artemisia, when she was young, so this raid will happen. Okay, in front of her own eyes, is her mother got raped and like all her siblings got killed, etc. At this point of time, essentially Romans should have taken care of that kid, but that didn't happen. Persians actually took this girl and they went to their kingdom and they trained her to become the commander-in-chief of that Persian army. Persian army was not small army. If you know, Xerxes is one of the major king there. He had like millions and millions of the soldiers. Getting? Here, she basically represented Persians, but actually she is a Roman. She is the reason why the Romans got defeated. And 300, basically it is a myth or as legend, I can say, that this 300 soldiers basically fought this the entire army of these Persians. Okay, in the narrow passage it happens. So again, if you watch this movie again, you will get a very different interpretation of the death. They glorified the death essentially, right? If you see that movie again, it is quite fascinating. Okay. Okay, let's go into this genre called as docudrama, documentary drama. One of my favorite docudrama, it is called as My Octopus Teacher, and again it has also won this Oscar, if you know, right? So here the My Octopus Teacher, I just want to say some of my observations. One, it is the interconnectedness. See, we may say that we are human beings, we are different from the different species, etc. and all. Believe me, the genes which I carry, like most of the genes, it is same that of the masses. You know masses, right? Lichens, masses. It is same, a part of my genes, it is same there also. Which means I am connected to that also as well. But because in the name of modern civilization, we are getting detached ourselves from all these things. If you watch this documentary, there is an unlikely friendship which is happening between the octopus and then this sea diver. Getting? So that is one interconnectedness. Second, this time concept. See, this documentary was essentially shot over a period of 1 year, because during this 1 year, this diver used to go always, like every day, into the sea, and he used to meet this octopus. In the beginning, octopus was very hesitant. It was not trusting him, and it came to such a level that it started trusting with her babies as well. She allowed this person to play with the kids as well. So that is a very, very rare kind of, the friendship or the trust which will be there between two different species. Okay, so that time aspect, it takes time for you to build that trust, for you to get into this another person's heart. So that is another thing you can learn from this documentary. And of course, death. In the end, when again, I don't want to spoil, so there will be a death. Okay, so because of the death, you in fact will be moved to the tears. Okay, so the inevitability of the death, that is another thing you can learn from this. So again, how can you use this in your exam? Inspiration for creativity springs from the effort to look for the magical in mundane. For most people, octopus is a source of meal for some. It is just an animal for some. Maybe in an aquarium it will be putting, right? But here, so this person went on to explore the life of octopus. Because of that, a magicness was shown to the world, right? So that is one. A ship is harbor in a ship is ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ship is made for. Octopus was safe in water. This person was safe on land. Everybody could have chosen their life, but this person ventured into the ocean, made a friendship with this octopus, and rest of the things is history. Getting? So that's why at times taking the adventure is the important step we had to do. Correct? So that is one. The process of self-discovery has now been technologically outsourced. Okay, I have a different interpretation for this. So self-discovery, for example, even this person was going to this meeting the octopus, he was always carrying a camera. Okay, he was always recording the things which was happening between this person and octopus. So here that understanding of himself happened because of that camera technology, and that self-discovery also helped us to discover ourselves because of technology. Then technology is helping us in self-discovery. At the same time, it is also acting as a distraction from us, for us to actually discover ourselves. If you go for Instagram, if you go for other kinds of distraction, obviously that is also technology, but that is keeping you away from yourself. But in this context, it has helped in self-discovery. Getting? Okay, I would have told you this movie in the class also, Dead Poet Society. One of the beautiful movies, again by acted by this Robin Williams. So I think I would have told you this quote as well in the class. That is, we don't read and write poetry because it's cute. We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race, and the human race is filled with passion. For that passion, we have to read and we have to write. So that is what he says. Of course, Carpe Diem, so that is a famous quote from this. That is, seize the day, make your lives extraordinary. I hope you know the premise of this. See, essentially here, okay, I will tell you this idea. See, two words, conformity and individuality. So what is conformity? Kelidra conformity. What is conformity? Let's say society believes that you should do schooling up to 10th, after that pre-university, after that college, after that maybe post-graduation, post-doc, etc., etc., etc. That is a perceived way for you to achieve success. That is a perceived way of making you yourself valuable in the society. Okay, so to accept that and to walk the same path, so that is conformity. So just confirming what is already established. Okay, so that is conformity. Individuality is ulta. Whatever you believe, you want to live for that. Whatever you believe, you want to like practice that. So that is called as individuality. So that is beautifully depicted in this movie. Because the university believes that the only way of reading and writing the poetry is like a mathematics. Like there are formulas to like judge what is this beauty of this poet, etc., etc., etc. In that way only they should be reading. But a teacher comes, basically he will give a entire different interpretation of the things, and a student there he will be interested in this theater. He wants to explore that, but the parents will be forcing him to become a doctor, and in the end there will be a tragic death. So that is individuality with conformity. Getting? Essentially we all face the same problem, right? And unfulfilled potential. See, for example, think like this. At least most of us has this problem of mathematics, but it doesn't mean that we don't have the potential of understanding the mathematics. If at all that potential was fulfilled during our childhood itself, don't you think that you would have become a better engineer, or else maybe a better mathematician, right? So what is more painful is that unfulfilled potential which we have. Potential is there, but achieve manakaktila, right? So that is also, it is beautifully depicted in this movie. Then existential freedom and responsibility. For example, existential freedom means just because you are a human being, you are entitled with certain human rights, but at the same time there are certain responsibilities you are supposed to follow. And because of those responsibilities, even though for namesake there is freedom, you are not enjoying the freedom. Yes or no, right? We say that right to move is a fundamental right as well, but there is responsibility as well. You are supposed to earn wages, look after your family, you have a right to move. If you want, you can go and roam the country. If you want, you can go and roam the world. Is it possible? So that is what it is also depicted in this movie. That is, you have this existential freedom, but at the same time, responsibilities is dragging you down. Getting? So that is what it is depicted. Okay. Another animated movie which I want to say, it is Princess Mononoke. So this one I urge that everybody should watch. So it is directed by this Miyazaki. So Miyazaki is a legendary director. Like whatever the movies he has created, it is masterpiece. Okay. See, in this movie there are a lot of things you actually can learn. Okay. So one of the let's start from this. It is industrialization. Okay. So here within the forest there will be this iron smelting plant. So it was established by the humans. So okay, I will give you this brief context. This even in Indian beliefs or else in anywhere in different cultures, they believe that spirit, like forest spirit, will be there. So in Tamil they call it as Vanarachi. That is, a forest spirit will be there in this forest. Like let's say Mother Nature is what we say. So that is also a spirit, correct? Yes. So Japanese also believes that there is this forest spirit, and it is God basically. So they should not be got angered, etc. and all. So that is one story. And whenever this destruction of the forest is happening, etc., etc., this beast will come, like unworldly beast which is not there, but they will be coming. So they will attack these humans, etc. and all. So that is nature creating those things to destroy the humans. That is one belief. And humans, as always, we want to dominate the nature. This is the fight, like just the context I am giving. In this context, they will show like how urbanization, how industrialization is actually destroying the forest. Like that is deforestation. That is one of the beautiful aspects it is depicted. Also interconnectedness between humans and the nature. That is also very beautifully depicted in this movie. And here there are a lot of emotions essentially. One is anger. Anger, again, here this Princess Mononoke which you see, so she will get angered because she though she is a human, she will be raised by these wolves. Okay, so she believes that she is part of forest, she is part of those beasts. Okay, and she actually wants to kill the human beings. Right, so that battle will be happening, and she will be raged and blinded by the anger. And then she says that I just wish that I don't want to see the world with this anger. Getting? So that is one. Then again, anger and hatred. So again, in this Game of Thrones also same thing is there. If you know this Dracarys, right, obviously I hope you would have seen like anger and hatred. Again, it is beautifully depicted in this movie, and how this let's say politicians or as opportunists, okay, how they actually manipulate both the sides, and they will be getting the profit. So that is also beautifully depicted in this movie. And another masterpiece, if I want to say, it is called as The Graveyard of Flies. Like again, it is a must watch for everyone. So it is about this World War scenario. So during that, like, you know, 2 orphan kids will be there. It has a story of them. The Graveyard of Flies. Again, it is a very beautiful movie, so you can watch from there. Okay, so another animated movie which I want to suggest is called as The Raya, The Last Dragon. Anyone has seen? It is very, very beautiful movie. So here, see, I think I have a quote. Yeah. So just read this quote. Sometimes it is the people no one imagines anything of who do the things that no one can even imagine. Getting here, the thing is that there you can see this blue dragon, right, in that image. The thing is that along with that blue dragon, so there will be like siblings, like 5 more dragons will be there. When this destruction of the world is coming, so all these magical dragons, they will put all those magics and they will create this gem, okay, and that gem was transferred to her. It was not because she was the strongest, it is because they trusted her that she can manage this. That trust is what it is highlighted in this movie. And because she is not strongest, because no one imagined that, you know, her name is Sis in that movie, nobody imagined that she could be the one who can do that. And here you can see that girl with the sword, right? She always believes that trust is not the thing which is there on this earth, and both will be ulta. And in the end, they will get a chance for redemption. So one starts believing in trust, and another proves that even you need not be the strongest one, but you can show the strength to the world, right? So that is depicted in this beautiful movie called as The Raya, right? And this quote, it is from this Imitation Game, which I told you in the earlier, that is about this Alan Turing, okay? Okay. Sacrifice for the greatest good. So that is also another thing you can learn from this Raya, the Last Dragon. Redemption, just now I told you, and trust and vulnerability. See, there cannot be trust without vulnerability. For example, if I want to trust someone, there is always a chance that that person can hurt me. Yes or no, right? So if I don't make myself vulnerable, I cannot trust that person, right? It is true with international relations as well. It is true with like interpersonal beliefs as well, right? So that is another thing which is depicted there. Okay. Now, so those are some of the movie recommendations I just wanted to say. Again, I can say that that's not even 0.1% of whatever the movies I just wanted to say to you, right? So there is an entire list. See, all the important purpose of this entire session is that to ignite the spirit of watching the movies in the right way. That is the most important thing I wanted to do. Second thing is that change of perception. Like often you say that, sir, we don't have the time for reading itself, how can we watch the movies? But the thing is that you waste a lot of time, right? So if you can give like little bit amount of time for the movies, it is not going to hamper your development, rather it will be progressive. That is the second thing I wanted to highlight. Third thing is this caution which I wanted to give. So it is by Hippocrates. So can you read? Everything in excess is opposed to the nature. So as I said, Vishakanya concept, same thing. Movies is good. This elixir of the life, I can say, but anything in excess can kill the life itself. Getting? Unless and until, of course, you want to make a career in the movie making. So watching a movie in small quantities. See, the thing is that for me, it is a kind of addiction, okay? Every day I watch a movie. So that is for sure, it is not just now or yesterday, it is for last 10-15 years, that is what I have been doing. And kind of brain is adjusted to it, okay? So next day I don't get this glimpses of the movie which I watched yesterday, no, 100% no, right? And also brain is convinced so that, I mean, at times I also wonder because, see, people often say that watching the screen, etc. and all, it will cause you sleeplessness. Believe me, I will go to sleep. After watching a movie, I can easily sleep, getting, so there won't be any disturbing thoughts, etc. and all, okay? So the thing is that even if you go into that mindset, then you can say that, okay, maybe one episode a day, or else let's say for example, half movie a day, or else if you have the time, then you can complete a movie, right? Or else let's say 1 week, one movie, or else month, one movie. Think like this, make yourself like, available for that one day and give yourself that time, okay? Rest of the time you can prioritize your examination. So don't postpone the examination work, or else don't postpone your movie work also. Let's say you can make a bucket list, like whatever the list I have given, or else whatever the movies I have said, you can make a list of that. and weekly once, or else let's say monthly once, you can watch one movie. And very, very important thing, very important thing, which I have told you in the classes also, it's not just about watching the movie. Also, like the way in which I have told you to watch, you can watch in that way. But the most important thing you have to do is that take one sheet, whatever the movie you have watched, try to write 2 pages. What are the things you have learned from that? What are the things you can practice in your life? What are the good things about that movie? What are the bad things about that movie? Try to write that. Okay. By doing that, see, one of the important thing is that whenever I do this sort of things, etc. and all, in the Telegram also I'll get this messages saying that, sir, it was good, etc. etc. But the problem is that you may feel like 100 times more emotion, but you are not expressing it. But unless you express that, how can I know that actually whatever I am telling to you is reaching you? ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ ನಂಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತಾ? ಮುಖ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ ನಂಗೆ? If you say, then only I can understand, right? But the problem is that you don't find the words to express those feelings. Not just for me, even for your parents. Have you ever told you that, I love you, Amma? It is even treated as taboo. ಇವಾಗೂ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಕಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಬಟ್ ಬದುಕಿದಾಗ ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸತ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ? Yes or no? The word should be conveyed when other person can experience and understand those feelings. Yes or no? 70-80 ವರ್ಷ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಇಲ್ಲ. Because at that point of time they don't enjoy those things. ಯಾವಾಗ ಎಂಜಾಯ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ? ಅವರು 30s 40s ಇದ್ದಾಗೆ ಎಂಜಾಯ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಅಟ್ ದಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಎ ರೆಬಿಲಿಯಸ್ ಟೀನೇಜರ್. ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಉಲ್ಟಾ ಹೊಡಿಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So those are the phases. That's why what I'm saying is that whatever you feel, not just for the examination or else for this movies, even for the books, whatever you do, take one sheet, try to express your feelings. Very, very important task. Why I'm saying is that even in the examinations, not just in essay and ethics, let's say your optional is literature, any literature doesn't matter, right? Important thing is that you should express your feelings. Let's say in Kannada we have this book called as Vodalala, right? Or else let's say for example Madhavi is also there, Devuru is there. While reading all these things, you may feel like 100 times stronger emotions, but on the paper, if it is only 1%, you will get only 1% marks. That is the problem. So that's why expression is very, very, very important. Do express your feelings on the paper and just keep a record of those things. Like ಏನೇನು ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತೀರಾ ಅದನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆಗೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. So why I'm saying is that whenever you feel kind of low, whenever you feel kind of having the feeling of you should be rejuvenating, etc. and all, ಆ ಶೀಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಓದಿ. So the next time when you read the same thing, believe me, whatever you would have written at that point of time would be conveyed to you in an entirely different way. ಬೇರೆ ಸಲ ಓದಿದಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ತರನೇ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬರ್ದಿರೋದು ನೀವೇ, ಬಟ್ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ನೀವೇ, ಬಟ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗೋದೇ ಬೇರೆ ತರ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So that is the beauty of writing. So that's why I always ask that whatever you read, please write it. Are you getting? Yes? Yes. So how to manage the examination as well as your movies? So this is what I said. So pleasure and passion. So as of now, your passion is for the examination. You want to crack this examination, etc. and all. Pleasure is your movies. The pleasure should not dominate your passion. Both should be there. Are you getting? Right? Manage both the things, then you will find a good way. Then of course, priorities. Let's say for example, in 5 days there is a full-length test. Today you cannot accommodate. Today you cannot afford to watch Game of Thrones entire series. Getting? Don't do such sort of blunders. Prioritize which is important now and focus on that, and then you can take this part. Getting? Are you understanding all those things? Everyone? Yes, good. Yes, thank you for your patience listening. Okay, and of course, all the best. Not just for this sake of examination, I'm saying, I told you always that is, life is larger than that of this examination or as any examinations, right? So focus on the larger targets. Don't restrict yourself for this, examination. Clearing or failing this examination doesn't mean anything. Like, see, for example, I told you 2014 era singer. Most of you didn't even know her, right? But at that point of time, she was a celebrity. As that is the celebrity made by the media. Getting? Always people will forget people. But at that point of time, they will criticize you, they will do the things for you, right? So that's why don't give your head for all those things. Just focus on your work. If you work on yourself, everything will come to you. Getting? Yes. Thank you all.